Here to keep the chase going, share information, spread unity, preserve our heritage and our culture. We're trying to achieve something that you just can't catch. We're always trying to find a better way, trying to make better dogs. That's what Dixie Doggers Podcast is. That's who we are.
This episode is brought to you by Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company. Marc Rankin specializes in Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle in Oglethorpe County, Georgia. You can contact him at 407-832-2077. 407-832-2077. This episode is also brought to you by Phil Wilson of UC Hunting Properties. If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. You can contact him at 678-791-3483, 678-791-3483, or visit his website down below in the description.
All right, everybody. Joey and Nathan here again. Got another show coming for you. This is our segment with Uncle Pat. We got Uncle Pat on the horn with us, and he has searched the globe far and wide, across the world, and has found us a guest tonight to jump on here with us that knows all about some of these little mountain curves. And so without further ado, I'm just going to kick it over to them and let them kick it off, and I'm gonna be quiet. Pat, you and Miss Kelly, y'all get after it.
Hey, Pat, how are you?
I'm good, Miss Kella. Several people on the ask Uncle Pat, what about the Stevens? What about the Kimmer? What about the Oakham? I said, look, man, it's all the same, and they look at you funny. I said, I tell y'all what, I'm going to do a show where I'm going to get somebody that's going to know. I mean, I can't explain it, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Miss Kella, and you give us a little rundown history of Stevens and all that, and a rundown history of who you are.
Okay. Well, let's start with me first. I'm Kella Stanley. I'm from here in East Texas. Lived most of 18 years in New Diana. That's where my parents still live today. And I have lived in the Overton, New London area here in East Texas with my husband, Dale Stanley, for 32 years. He robbed the cradle a little bit back in the day, and we've been married ever since. I'm a country girl, but yet I'm educated, and I got tattoos, but I have a career too. So
Wow.
Don't underestimate me. But I'm about 5'1", about 125 pounds, and stick of dynamite. I love hunting these dogs. I was raised in the country with just good, wholesome country folks. My dad was a deacon at the Baptist church, and my mom was a stay-home mother, and there were three of us girls, and I was in the middle. I was the middle child. I never was really old enough to do anything, but wasn't young enough to get away with it either. I was kind of like the black sheep maybe of the family, strong-willed, always looking for adventure. So we showed horses. My grandfather had a red bone hound, and he would take the boys squirrel hunting, and the girls had to stay back wringing the chickens' necks and getting supper on the table. But I did pretty good in high school. I played basketball and was an FFA and showed some swine and some pigs, and just loved the outdoors. But I will tell you what, I could clean up too. I could put on a sequin dress and turn heads too. My mom and my dad raised me to be pretty independent. With having three girls, my dad didn't want any of us to have to depend on a man, because he said, you know what, men might not hang around, they might leave you, and then where are you going to be? So he pressured us into getting an education, being independent, and I could not drive a vehicle. He would not let me drive a vehicle down the road until I could change my own flat, until I could back up a gooseneck horse trailer and hold my own behind the wheel. So I'm pretty handy these days when it comes to flats and things that need to be done around the house. And Dale can tell you, if he calls and I say, hey, guess what I did today? He's hanging on every word, because there's no telling. There's no telling what I might have done or what I got done. And two, he knows that if he don't do anything that I ask him to do, it's going to get done. It might cost him, but I'm gonna have it done. So
Hey, everybody, hold up. Hey, everybody, if y'all got a minute, pray for Dale.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna tell some things on here, and y'all gonna be wondering why I'm still with him. So, so y'all just hang on. It gets better. So, anyway, long story short, I was working at Cavender's in high school. I was a senior, and I hadn't turned 18 yet, and Dale came into Cavender's, and he wanted to buy some baits, and I was real good at selling baits, and I made a lot of commission off of men coming in there buying baits because I didn't look half bad. I really didn't. I cleaned up real good. And I had remember those Rocky Mountains we used to wear? Well, I wore those Rocky Mountains. I had every color of roper boots, and I put together pretty good. And he came.
Them Rocky Mountains cost me $63,000 in child support over 18 years.
Well, yeah, and them things used to come up halfway up your waist. I don't know why we tried to wear those things, but
I don't know, but they fit.
Yeah, they did, and we'd have to lay down on the bed to zip them. But anyway, he came in there, and he kind of liked what he saw, and he kind of liked the way I conducted myself. But I had to turn 18 before he would really be interested. So I think it was February. I'm a 1974 model, and I turned 18 in February, and here he came, and he's still coming. So anyway, so I left home at 18 years old, and my daddy told him, he said, "Dale, I'm gonna tell you this. She's something else. She is a lot, and don't you ever lay a hand on her. Don't you ever hurt her. Just call me if I need to come get her. But I'm not going to take her back. She's yours from here on out." So, and he's had to remind him, I think, a couple of times. But
oh my goodness.
But it's been a good 32 years. But anyway, we hit the ground running, and he works in the oil field. He's a safety HSSC supervisor for Weatherford. He's worked for them 35 years. He was working for Weatherford when I met him, and he made pretty good money. And so he put me through college. I went to Kilgore College and got an associate's degree. I didn't work. I just went to college, took care of dogs. And I was pretty handy with dogs, and he kind of realized that before he married me. And so while I was in college, we were married about 4 years, and he had some butcher bred OMC dogs from Kenneth Robertson over in Longview.
Yes.
How long's it been since y'all heard butcher bred?
Since me and you, the only people that ever said it, Pat, as far as I know.
Hey, I love it.
I do
Well,
too.
We still have. I think we got 2 dogs out there that got some butcher, but we had to look for those. We can talk about that too if y'all want to. But I can't tell you about every honey hole. But anyway, I'm willing to help some people out, and we need to get some more of that in our dogs because we went to the World OMCBA hunt this past week, and we had 14 coon dogs. But I will say that these OMC dogs today have been bred for squirrel, and we need to get some coon back in them. We need to get some coon dogs back in these OMC dogs. And I'm hoping to do that.
Okay.
What do you think? They more hot-nosed tree dogs now than work a track type dogs?
Yeah. And we'll get into the Stevens too. We might have to make different segments of this because we got a lot to say. But
that's fine. That's fine with us.
But anyway, I'm gonna tell you what I like about the Stevens, which we're kind of chasing rabbits, but they're cold nosed. They're my ace dog. I have hunted him in a swamp on a competition hunt. We went and it was raining cats and dogs. And where was that? Was that Alabama? Well, that one too. But anyway, it was raining cats and dogs, and we were standing in water that was my legs ain't very long, so that ain't a very good example. But anyway, we were wading in water, and I was able to tree coon by him walking around on his back feet, winding and treeing smelling up trees, just trying to find which tree it was in, and treeing on a tree where there was no track on the ground, it was water. So, when he can't find a track on the ground, then he's gonna be looking up, he's gonna be smelling up, and then he's gonna tree some layups.
Yeah.
Too. So, I think that we've had some original mountain curs, the stock of dogs that aren't around as much now, but Kenneth Robertson had the Busher Sam dog, and when Dale and I met, instead of going on a date like most people, he was going on a coon hunt with Mr. Robertson, and guess what I was getting to do? I was staying back with Mr. Robertson's wife making tea cakes and learning how to cook. So Dale and Kenneth would come out of the woods, and Miss Wanda and I would be in the kitchen, and they'd come home to tea cakes and all kinds of cooking. And I learned a lot from that lady. And I think the women today, I'm 50 years old, and I kind of feel like that I'm preaching to myself here, but these young women and these kids, these women these days could do well by hanging around a bunch of older women.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lot, not just about cooking, not about dogs, but I learned a lot about men being around Miss Wanda, and how you handle a man like Mr. Robertson and Dale Stanley and some of these other men that that are hard workers, that like to hunt, but also like their space, like their time, and like their feet up under a good table. So she told me one time, I'll never forget this, she said, the way to a man's heart's through his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a pretty good cook. So
well, that's something that you, like you said, it's not out there that much anymore. The younger women, they're not taught. Nothing's being passed down.
Yeah,
dog being either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's it. But anyway, so Dale was hunting these dogs, but then also he was also hunting some feist dogs, the doobie bred feist dogs out of up there at Queen City in the Atlanta Queen City area.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of those doobie bred feist dogs, and we traveled. Let's see, I was going to college, and he was working. He'd take vacation, and we would travel to a couple of these hunts. And we used to have a lot of hunts up there in Queen City, a lot of NKC hunts and feist hunts, and we would travel around hunting dogs. And I tell you, one time we went with Harold and Brenda Reed out of Longview. They had a lot of dogs, and we went to Alabama with them. And I didn't know if I was gonna make that trip, because we stayed in a hotel room. I don't remember, was that Marion, Alabama? We stayed in a hotel room and had daggum bullet holes in the walls, and
we're not far from Marion. That's where we're living. That's about right. We were a minority in that town, but anyway, we made it. And I didn't move much in the bed, and I told Dale, don't be thinking we're gonna be doing anything, because there might be roaches and everything else in here. So I'll never forget that trip. That was probably one of my very first competition hunts. I think you did pretty good there. And then we went to Walden, Arkansas. Yeah. And I kind of got the fever of, I'm really very competitive, so I kind of got the fever then of kind of wanting my own dog at that time. But anyway, I finished college, and I got a teaching degree. I got a bachelor's from the University of Texas at Tyler, and we had Bailey. We have one daughter. She's 28, and we had her as soon as I got out of college. I stayed home with her for a year, and then I started teaching after she was about a year old, and we raised her. Dale kept hunting these dogs. We never, ever didn't have dogs on the property. I didn't get to do a lot of hunting because we had the child, but he kept hunting. He kept the Busher dogs, and then I think you do have a few straight dogs too.
Maybe one or two. That's about it.
Yeah, and then kind of got out of the feist they were really hard to find, and I've always liked a bigger dog. And so anyway, we had OMC dogs, and we had some Korean curs too. I got a kind of a bee up my bonnet one time and ran across a red bone hound. He's the prettiest red bone hound. Beautiful, dark copper color. And I just knew I needed a red bone hound. And Dale's like, I don't know what you want to do with that old hound. I'm like,
You must have been drinking.
It just looks good, okay?
You don't even drink.
I don't even drink. Hey, listen.
You don't need to.
Listen. I scare myself sober. I have to really practice self-control just on every given day. So the good Lord knew that I did not need to like the taste of alcohol because it would have not been good.
Oh man.
I like some sweet tea. I tell you what, we can drink some sweet tea and everybody would think I was having a good time. So anyway, it don't matter. But anyway, we've had a lot of good times with these dogs, but I got me a red bone and it did pretty good, I guess. But I tell you what, I know Pat, you like to hog hunt, and I've kind of been itching to do a little bit more of that. But we've had hog dogs. These butcher dogs will flat out bay up some hogs. I got some pictures of some hogs we bayed up around here on Bowles Creek, and I was gonna take that red bone with us hog hunting, and we one night, I think it was during the day, me, you, and Bailey all went out here, and we went behind the house here, and we got on a sounder. I'm talking about, it looked like something from the Man of Snowy River. These hogs running on the top of this creek bank kind of was up, and those things had babies from 2 or 3 years old all the way up. I mean, there was maybe 30 hogs that day, and something happened to your gun. What happened to your gun?
Well, I bought one of those new 44 Winchester, and they have the safety on them now.
Yes.
I've done the same thing.
My son done it the other day.
And man, I was going to lay out a few of those hogs, and I'd pull the trigger, and it wouldn't fire. I'd cock it, and a bullet would come out of it, and I'd pull the trigger, and it wouldn't fire. And then hogs was coming in on us pretty rough.
They were getting mean. They was about to get me.
And
I was looking for a tree or something to get up.
So I finally figured out I had the safety on that gun, and by that time the hogs they done left out of there. And
I got to looking for that red bone.
I looked for that red bone, and it was hiding behind Kella. So it wasn't as good a hog dog as we thought it was.
Oh my goodness.
That silly old dog, that dog probably weighed 65, 70 pounds.
Oh yeah.
I got to thinking, where's my dog? He probably went after those hogs. I turned and looked, he's sitting down there, scared to death. I thought, okay, well, that ain't gonna work. But
we didn't kill not one hog out of that.
Yeah.
Well, and our daughter had a shotgun, and she was fixing to shoot, and you were on the other side. I told her, don't shoot, you're going to shoot your daddy. Speaking of, it's having to stay with Mr. Stanley. You never know when I'm going to have to do first aid. Because we were he's just shot his leg up in this house. I had taken him to the emergency room shooting himself. And the other day he came in here and I was going to sleep late. I told him, don't wake me up, I'm going to sleep late. But I heard him leave out of here, and he had the dogs and dog box. I heard him leave out of here. Well, I kind of dozed off, and I woke up to the truck coming back down the drive, and I thought, dang, has it already been that long? Has he already had time to go hunt? Well, next thing I know, he didn't drive back down to the kennel. He stopped up here at the house, and I hear doom, 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 where his boots coming up. And he came on in the house, didn't even stop, take his boots off. I thought, oh, no. Something must be going on. Well, he came to the bathroom, and, I done told him the night before, do not wake me up. I am tired. I'm just going to wake up when my body wakes me up. Well, he comes through. I hear him real quiet coming through the bathroom into the bedroom. He said, hey, Kella, you think maybe you could look at my neck? I rise up in the bed, and his shirt is covered in blood. that son gun done went to the woods and then almost cut his jugular vein.
Goodness.
He came up, yes,
Yeah.
he came up in this house, blood all over him. Saying, you think he's looking at my neck? So I get up and I tell him, I said, get to the kitchen. So I go and get some gauze thinking I'm fixing to have to pack this thing. So I get him in the kitchen and I get that sprayer and start spraying his neck. And I'm thinking any minute he's fixing to faint. Because usually what he does anytime he hurts himself or shoots himself or does anything like this, he's fine till he gets to me. He's strong as he can be. But once he gets to me, then he just falls out wanting to get sick, throw up. Don't faint on me and everything else. So we're standing here in the kitchen, and I said, "Are you okay? Don't you fall out on me?" He's like, "What's it look like?" I said, "Oh man, you want to have to go get you some stitches." And he said, "No, just glue me up. Just put one of them butterfly things on there. I'll be fine." I'm like, "No, you can't, because it's right there in that bend of your neck." And I said, "Where you gonna shave? You gonna be turning your head left and right?" I said, "It's not gonna heal." So a friend of mine over there in Kilgore, Allison Thompson, she's a physician's assistant. I worked with her husband at Cavender's a long time ago. I sent her a picture of it, and I said, "Hey," I said, "can y'all stitch this up?" And she said, "Oh my God, what animal got him this time?" I said, "No, it was his own knife."
Good night. Good. I'm surprised you didn't stitch him up yourself.
Well, I started to get that staple gun that we use on the dogs when the hogs cut them. But
What I was doing was I took some dogs down to the creek down here.
Yes, sir.
Young dogs. I'm going to let them run a little bit. They got off away from me, and I was fixing to cross the creek, and there's a bunch of limbs over the trail. You know how you have to duck under limbs? I got tired of ducking under them. So I took my hunting knife out. It's a kind of a Bowie knife type thing.
yeah, he's James Bowie. He's Bowie.
And I started trimming those limbs off where I wouldn't have to just chopping them off, little bitty limbs.
Yeah. Yes,
where I wouldn't have to duck under them. And a wasp or something come out of there.
You can't make this up.
Stung me on the chin.
Oh man!
And when that wasp stung me, I jumped back and had that knife in my hand, and that blade went across my neck. I got real lucky that it didn't get my jugular vein.
You did.
It was real close, and I knew something was wrong. My chin was stinging from the wasp sting, and blood started pouring down me. And I thought for sure I'd done it, said I ain't gonna make it out of here. And I was about a quarter mile from the side by side, and finally got there. And I'm gonna have to go down the road with all this blood on me, and and so I didn't meet anybody. It was early in the morning, so I managed to get home, and then Kella told you the rest of the story there. Yeah. So I survived. Ended up with about 10 stitches, I think.
My goodness.
Yeah. Y'all know I don't miss nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He must have had them busher dogs with him.
Yeah.
Because they got away from. They got out under a hunting.
Yeah, they went to beating the bushes.
Been around warming his feet.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. Well, that old busher bred stuff's good dogs.
Yeah, they were good back in the day. When
I think I don't know. Can you even find any now?
It's hard to find them. Like those.
Yes, sir.
Those were real close to the original Busher Sound dog.
Okay.
They were like grandpups out of him. That Mr. Robertson had over in Longview that I hunted with so many years. He's the one that introduced me to mountain curs back in the mid-'80s. So it's been that long ago. And I never could find anything after a while to breed back to them. These dogs actually opened on a coon. They would open on a track.
Yes, sir.
On a coon. They wouldn't open on a squirrel that much, but it actually opened on a coon. I always liked that. And
yes, sir.
I never could find anything to breed back, and just lost it. There's still some butcher dogs. You got a little bit of huntsman in them and Beatty, but you can't hardly find the Butcher Sound line, or I haven't been able to. Yes. It's so far gone. It's
been
so many years ago. I mean, you couldn't find anything like that now. So that's one of the reasons that we switched over to the Stevens stock mountain curs, because they were more suited for me as far as coon hunting. and they open on the track like I like. And so about 10 years ago, a guy by the name of Buddy Langford had brought some into Texas. There just wasn't many around here in this part of the country as far as the Stevens stock. He brought some in about 10 years ago or so, and I actually got a pup off of him. That was my Loretta Gyp, and she just suited me just fine. She hunted a whole lot like those old busher dogs. She wasn't as big. The Stevens were a little bit smaller. They're around 35 to 40 pounds.
Yes, sir. Most
of them. But they hunt the same. They kind of got the same hunting abilities as the old bushers, and that's why we've been, I favor those for the last 10 years. But like Kella said, I've been hunting cur dogs all my life. That's all I've ever had. Mountain cur.
On your mountain curs, your OMC dogs, what bloodlines are y'all running out of those?
OMCs?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I do have one that's a little female that's all she is Huntsman and Beatty.
Okay.
Peanut Beatty. You remember him?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peanut. So it's out of that stock. I got that one from South Louisiana. JD's Fawala.
Okay.
He's running out. He's an older gentleman.
Yes, sir. I've seen the name on papers and stuff over the years, and heard talk back and forth. We run a little bit of the Nicholson dogs.
Yeah, some of those older Nicholson dogs were heavily huntsmen too, I think.
Yes,
back
sir.
in the day.
Yeah, they were. And I think the one we got now, Foxy's the last OMCBA dog that we've got here. And she's 8 or 9 years old. And she was out of the last litter from Molly. Mm-hmm. And that, like I said, so we started out with them, but Jared got Molly around 20 years ago. And that's where that started out. Like I said, it was a lot of Nicholson stuff in there. And which they hadn't been bred a whole lot here, but we always keep them. They're really good dogs. I like the OMC dogs.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And now, thanks to the sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers. Animal Housing Solutions.
Boars N Broads.
Crockett Taxidermy.
Hardcore Hog Dogs.
Southern Cross Cut Gear.
Ada Y Transport.
4L Kennels.
The American Doghorn Museum.
Unique Hounding Hunting Supply.
Hogbaying.com.
Tuskers Magazine.
Mud Creek Hog Dog Trials.
Oh yeah, I like them too, but they're more, they bred them more for squirrel hunting.
Yes, sir.
Competition dogs, which has been great. I'm not a big competition hunter, but I'm glad they did what they did because it's really helped the cur dog world.
Yes, sir.
With competition and all that.
They're totally different than what they were 20 years ago. That's a fact.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Go ahead.
We've got two other OMC dogs too. We've got one, Denny Davenport and Hoyt McFerrin out of Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I got a dog out of them not too long ago. It's female Rita. She's pretty good squirrel dog, and does well. Hopefully she'll switch over to cane eventually, but she holds her own under the tree with squirrels, and she's out of some T-Rex stuff and some, I don't know.
She's got some streak in her.
Yeah.
Some of the old streak dogs too,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell it.
Some Thunder. She's got some of Franklin's Thunder dogs, and
she's squirrel-minded.
She's a brindle dog.
She's a young dog, and I think she's going to turn out pretty good.
I'm kind of worried about her mouth, though. She better come on with that mouth.
And she's not very loud, or she's just not barking a lot, or?
Yeah, she barks a lot.
She can bark loud, and then sometimes she don't bark loud. I don't know what the deal is.
Ours hasn't been loud. Foxy's not a very loud dog. Now, our Kimmer stock, we got a couple of them that they sound like hounds.
Yeah.
Which they probably got some hound in them. Yeah.
That's kind of like
No.
Stevens. I'm sure there may be, you know. I mean, a dog that opens on a track, it's got to have some hound background somewhere, I would think.
We got
That's
one.
That's just my opinion, you know.
Yes, sir. We got one out there right now. His ears are as long as any hound I've ever seen.
Oh, Fred.
Yeah.
Fred. He's got some mud flaps on him, buddy, that any Kenworth would be proud of.
Well, you know, I can ear on a dog.
I do too. I like more and more. Used to, I like the smaller, you know, cur style ears. Now though, the more I do it, it's like I like that. I like more ear on them.
Till that coon starts tearing it up, and then oh my gosh, talking about bleeding to death.
That gives that possum something to hang on to.
Yeah.
And then we got another OMC dog, a young dog. She's real pretty. I hope she can get registered. She's got quite a bit of ticks on her, but she's out of some dead wood and some tree knocking ammo stuff. Some of that newer, I call it newer stuff, but. Yeah. I don't know. We're trying. I told him
we call her Wild Ruby.
Yeah. I told him we went to the World Hunt in Jamestown this past weekend, and I mainly go and do a bunch of paperwork and do the register dogs and things like that for them. But run the bench show, whatever I can do to help around there. But I really miss hunting, you know, and I can't take my black dogs to the OMCBA hunts, and matter of fact, they got a sign out front that says no other dog besides the OMCBA dog is allowed on these premises. So,
my goodness.
Yeah, so I don't try it, but anyway, I do miss hunting when we go to the OMC hunts, and I am looking for a really, really good coon dog. But I'll be honest, and I don't mean any disrespect to the OMC or anybody that hunts them, but I've tried a bunch of OMC dogs on coon, and it's hard to hunt one when you got a Stevens the same age or younger that's out doing them on these coons. I mean, I'm not going to. It's hard to.
We've all swapped over to the Kimmer dogs. That's what happened with us. We all swapped over to Kimmer dogs to run on bigger on coon, or we hog hunt a lot, and they work a lot better than the OMCBA dogs. The OMCBA dogs, like you guys said, y'all hit it dead on with the squirrel minded. They are phenomenal squirrel dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, some of the best. Yeah, you're gonna beat them.
And now Foxy out here, she loves a daytime coon. But at night, she don't care. She don't care. She'll tree, but it's got to be something. It's just got to be easy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's got to be an easy tree. And that makes me mad.
A guy sent me a picture of a yeller bobtail butcher type Kimmer the other day. Had a big nanny by the tail and had her pulled down.
Ain't no way.
I ain't gonna call no name.
Yeah, his initials are Nathan.
He done put the brakes on that.
Yeah. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, that's old Louie. He was pulling fur.
He's not barking on track anymore. I wonder what he's doing. Oh, he don't have to run her. He's caught her.
Yeah, he caught.
Yeah.
We use that one for blood trailing too. We use that camera for blood trailing, for coon, for squirrel, for hog, whatever.
Louie loves it. All of it.
Well, you know that back in the day, a good cur dog could do all that. That's why people have these dogs. Is that they help you survive. I mean, they put the meat on the table, and they protected the house. They raised the kids. A good cur dog used to do all that, and it even run, do cattle and run cattle and stuff. And and let's go back to the Kimmer and the Stevens. Back in the day when all these people started these dogs, the Kimmer and the Stevens are right there with the OMC people, right there with those dogs.
I was going to tell you a little bit of history. I don't know if y'all knew it, but Hugh Stevens was actually in with A.D. Ledbetter, Carl McConnell, Woody Huntsman. Hugh Stevens was the VP of they call it the Mountain Cur Club back when they formed it back in 1957. And all those dogs was in there. They were all together for years and years. And then Hugh, he broke out from the original Mountain Cur Club in 1970. He wanted his own breed standard, which was he preferred a black dog with a little white trim or just predominantly black. And he preferred that open voice on the track, with the changeover to tree. And I don't know. I've tried to get people to tell me. Hugh's son is still living. Jim Stevens. He's still living, and I've tried to get them to tell me a little bit about why, but that's the only reason I know. He just wanted to break out on his own, have his own type of dog, mountain cur dog, and that's why he left them. And there were some hard feelings over it, too. But anyway, they was all in the same bunch here for years when it all began. So,
but I would like to say, this legacy mountain cur that they've got going, which they're having a big hunt this weekend. They're all going up there to compete. The legacy mountain curs are, but they opened up the registry for the Stevens and the Kennemer dogs, and we got Ace in there. We got a couple of our dogs in there before they closed it back up, and we got the DNA profile through the NSD, and we've bred Ace to another LNC dog and hopefully we can continue to get the Stevens in that group right there a little bit. Just kind of put a little bit of the cold nose back in some of them, and then and I will tell you this, you hog hunting people, I had a son out of Ace, about a 55-pound dog, and he took him coon hunting a couple of times, and that dog had a bunch of go to him. Had so much go to him, I had to leave him for about 3 or 4 days down in the wildlife management because he got off into so much stuff, and he got him behind a high fence, and I couldn't get to him. The game warden wouldn't come help me. Sheriff wasn't going to come help me. So I had to wait till he showed up at someone's house. I finally got him back, but that dog is down in South Texas with y'all know Jacob Cantu. Well, he is baying up hogs down there and turning people's head. He's got a big old ball mouth and got a lot of go to him. So these Stevens dogs will bay hogs. Of course, they tree bear and lions with them too. We got a lot of friends that tree a lot of bear with them, and then of course mountain lions here in West Texas too. But we're versatile, and we've had other hounds. We've had a blue tick. We've had an English dog one time, didn't we? Did it break his leg or something like that? But we've tried. We like dogs, and we like people that like dogs.
That's right.
And that's another thing too. We Dale and I realized that Texas does not have a hunting dog association. We looked, and they used to have one a long time ago, and I think y'all did a part or a segment on a podcast on that not too long ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And I got, after listening to that, I kind of started looking or whatever. And, we have the East Texas Hunting Dog Association. Dale and I started that here a couple of years ago. We had quite a few people coming, and it's not just for coon hunters and squirrel hunters. It's if you hunt with a dog, I don't care if it's rabbit or fox or whatever, if we don't get together and unite and be like-minded and inform ourselves with what's going on with our legislator and what's going on with our government, we're going to get left behind. We're going to get left out. So something else about me is I'm the vice president of the Rusk County Republican Women's Group, and I'm very active in politics. I'm very active in lobbying and fighting for our rights, and I have applied for the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission. So I've got a couple of people pulling for me to get on that commission. I've applied 2 years. I've talked to Governor Abbott's office a couple of times, and Paul Hale, I don't know if y'all know him, but he's from up in Atlanta, and Ms. Schaffner, who has just been elected. it's pulling for me. So hopefully we can get someone from East Texas on the Texas Parks and Wildlife Commission to take care of some of the concerns that we have as far as our wildlife management areas, our rights to hunt these dogs, and to keep the dogs on our premises without somebody telling us how we need to do that, whether it's, you know, on a chain or in a kennel or in your house or just running loose in your yard. If we don't inform ourselves and keep abreast of all the many changes that are going on, there's going to be those people with agendas, and they're going to slip things in on us. So ignorance is no excuse. So
right.
I try to put things on my Facebook. I read the agenda for the Texas Parks and Wildlife every time they meet. I try to read the agenda in case there is something on there that someone's trying to push through or get through that might affect us. And then, you know, our legislative session here in Texas will start in January. And there are a lot of gun laws. There are a lot of things out there that have something to do with guns and ammunition and those types of things. And I try to keep up with all of that. And anytime I feel like we might need to call somebody or email somebody, I try to put it on my Facebook and get the word out. So, people don't slip things in there on us. But
that's good.
Anyway, but I appreciate y'all's podcast too. I think the more we have these conversations and the more information we get, we can make informed decisions. And again, if we just sit back and say, well, somebody else is going to step up and take care of that,
it never happened.
No,
Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
How raw is this?
That's right.
How real?
That's what we need.
This is what we need to be talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unity.
Yeah.
Well, and you're doing something. You're doing stuff. That's the thing.
I don't mind doing the homework. You know, I don't mind doing the homework for people because I know not everybody has the resources and the drive and the tenacity to get the information. You know, I'll knock on doors and I just being the vice president for the Rusk County Republican Women, I get things. I attend things. We have round robin talks about things, and when they're running across things and looking at policies and legislative things, if they see something that might interest me, they'll email it to me or send it my way, and then I'll dive into it. And as far as education, you know, I'm a 28 years in education. I'm a elementary school principal. I taught for 11 years, and then I've been a principal for 17. And
so you're a Bible toting, tattooed up.
I am a saved sinner. I'm a saved sinner.
You have the little glasses too, like the little glasses, the teacher glasses.
Yeah, I'm just a woman. No more, no less. Bad is the worst, but good is the best.
Hell yeah.
I am very humble, but and I'm sweet as pie till you cut me a piece too small.
There you go.
There
you go.
Goddamn Dale.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna have a weekly prayer group for Mr. Dale.
I hate it.
Poor old Dale gonna make 88 prayer lists Sunday morning.
That's exactly right.
Well, hey, I might be crazy, but it keeps me from going insane.
There you go. But you know what? There's many, many men out there that'll never be that lucky to have a woman that'll do all the things that you do, that have that much get up and go about them, that much drive and tenacity. I know a lot of men that be more than happy to deal with a little bit of brashness.
Yeah.
You know?
I got to say I'm pretty lucky there.
Yes, sir.
You are, Dale.
Yep.
Well, and I hope women are listening to this because, you got to be guided by intuition. You got to. You can't. You got to be unafraid to trust. These women nowadays. I have a lot of women that work for me, and in my circle with the church, and in my circle with the Rusk County Women's group that I'm in, and even the hunting group. There's a lot of women out there that hunt, but they I don't know. They just look like suppressed or something. But if there's any women out there that want to get into this coon hunting or that wants to go on a coon hunt, get in touch with me because we can so go. And I think I think we have a place in hunting. We're really good with dogs, just as good as any man. And hunting's not my hobby; it's my calling. It's my therapy. There's days I come home from being at that schoolhouse with those kids and with the pressures, with the pressures of the world and with life and with the state and the test scores that we've got to have and all those kind of things. It's therapy. I mean, there's days I come home and I'm looking wild-eyed, and Dale's like, "We're going hunting tonight." It's what I'm made to do. It's I get to use my instincts. It gets my focus where it needs to be. It's a never let up. And it's that dog. When I'm in that woods with that dog loves me unconditionally. That dog would protect me. It don't matter what kind of day I've had. It doesn't matter what I've said to him or what I've done. That dog loves me, and he wants to perform. And it's just remarkable. I mean, I'm telling you, after a hard day's work, going to the woods is my therapy.
I'll tell y'all a funny story about that dog and Kella.
All right.
Always. We was hunting in some swamps. It's been several years ago, and we got a neighbor here that enjoys hunting with us too. And they moved in here probably 6 years ago now, and they found out we coon hunted, and they wanted to go. He had a young boy, and they started going with us. We'd had a rainy, rainy fall, and we was in a swampy area. And we were wading in water. It was coming up over my knees, and Kella, it was almost to her waist. Well, we were all in that swamp. It was me and Kella, Chris and his son, and
seemed like there was a couple other people.
Been known to be alligators in there.
Oh,
where we was hunting.
Well, there's water monsters everywhere.
And I knew that there was gators in there. We'd already seen some. So we was going through this swamp and wading through that water, and I seen a log floating. It was coming over toward us, and it made me look twice. I thought it was a gator myself, and I didn't say nothing to anybody. And I knew old Chris was kind of jumpy, our neighbor.
Yeah.
So that log got real close to me, and I jumped and said, "Gator!" And I started running like it's after me. And old Chris, he's a big guy. He's just a big old muscled up guy.
He looks like a lineman.
And that sucker looked like he was walking on water. He was running as fast as he could run, and this little boy was trying to keep up with him. And I looked and I said, "Where's Kella?" And I said, and she was underneath the water, and Ace was pulling her. She looked like a submarine coming through the water.
Oh, Lord.
Well, back in my young day, I used to do a lot of water skiing and stuff. You always supposed to let go of the rope. Well, I didn't let go of the rope. He is under the water swimming and dragging me down along the bottoms of the water.
Yeah, it dug Kella down under the water. She looked like a submarine down through it. She come up. But that was a funny moment.
Yeah, that is right there.
We've had some good times.
So we're always picking on each other in the woods.
Old Chris, one time we had treed down on Bows Creek, and it was in July, and they had just started going with us, and he never heard a squaller. So we treated a coon. There was a lot of leaves on the trees, and we couldn't find the coon. So I kind of backed up, and I thought about it a minute. And old Chris was looking up in that tree to find the coon. So I backed up, and I hit that squaller a time or two, and he threw his hands up and jumped backwards and went and grabbed his son and just almost fell down. I said, "Chris, what's wrong?" He said, "Man, I thought a mountain lion was coming out of there."
He said a panther.
Yeah.
He thought a panther done got him.
Yeah, he just had to say it. It was so funny. But we've had a lot of good times with everybody that goes with us. And it's just a fun thing to coon hunt and get out there in the woods and have a good time, and make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
It's even better when you got a good dog,
Oh, hell yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Hey, so you think Mr. Stevens might have left the OMC or whatever because the dogs was getting too much like squirrel only dogs?
I just don't know the real true reason.
Because it sounds like that's the only difference. Like he kept them the way they ought. For me and you, they the way they ought to be. Because I run deer with them, I tree coons, bear. Yeah. What are you hunting today? I don't know what they're after yet. I'll let you know in a minute.
Yeah. He did breed for coon dogs. He wanted a straight coon dog, and I know that. And he did a real good job. Whatever he did, stuck with it because, I mean, the genes are there. I mean, you can't hardly mess them up as far as the opening on the track and being a natural coon dog. Now, there's some that you got to cull like any dog. You got to do that. But if a majority of these Stevens, if you take them and hunt them and spend time with them, they're going to do you a pretty good job.
Yeah.
We've had them outdo hounds. We've had them tree coons when the hounds couldn't tree them.
Well, and one thing I can't stand, Ace, he's gonna, if there's a coon close by, he's gonna get it. If there's not, he's gonna go get under one. And we've hunted with some flats and some different people and different hounds that, they get treed about 800 yards or a mile from you, and Ace is up underneath a couple, just within 700-800 yards of us, and they pass up. Some of these hounds will pass up coon that are right there. And then you get there and you're looking up a tree and you don't see anything, So if you're competition hunting and you get leash locked or something like that, that's aggravating. That ain't fun to me.
You don't have to be nice on here. You call it slick. If it's slick, it's slick.
Yes,
I don't care.
After I done walked a mile, this stick done walked a mile, and there ain't no coon up in that tree.
Yeah.
But yet that dog sit there and bark forever, and I don't know.
I didn't know when I first figured out about the competition stuff. I didn't know that you still got points if there wasn't no coon there. And they were they said, "Oh, you'll still get points." I said, "Well, for what?"
Well,
it's got to be. It's supposed to have either den tree or nest or something like that.
Yeah.
A slick tree's a slick tree. It should be a minor.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But I always thought like you had to see the coon before you got any points. You know what I mean?
Well, we did have that conversation this weekend, and I'm probably going to get some hate mail, but that's all right. Just bring it on.
We used to it over here.
Yes.
Well, this is the thing. I know you can win these hunts with circle points. I get it. And as cold as it was in Jamestown and as windy as it was, I get it. If I was a squirrel, I'd be off in some hole too. But you go and you have 800 circle points and you ain't seen not one squirrel, you'd starve if that dog was putting meat on the table.
Hey, I tell you what you do.
I ain't trying to do that.
No, listen, that's 100%. Thank you, Lord.
Hey, she said them competitions are going to starve to damn death.
Yeah, they gonna eat no squirrel and gravy, just gravy. No squirrel and gravy.
And then you feeding that dog. You're feeding that dog that ain't putting nothing on the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not real. I don't mind squirrel hunting, but let me tell you, what burnt me on squirrel hunting is this man sitting here right by me. Shake that vine, hit that, walk around the tree. I ain't trying to do that.
No. Hey, look, what they needed that hunt is that monkey that Jerry Clare talks about.
I know it. Well, I'm gonna tell you, if I walk to two trees and especially in the hot summertime, and I get to that tree and I ain't seeing no coon, that dog's going to get in the box. He's coming home, and if he does that too many times, he ain't staying at my house.
Hey,
I'm not feeding him. I'm not going to keep doing it.
On the OMCBA hunts, now, do they leash lock you on those?
I think so. Like I say, we don't do a lot of the competition.
Well, we don't either, and that's why I was asking, because like
I think there is a leash.
You can. You gotta wait so many minutes, and your dog's got to tree so long before you get to the tree.
Yeah.
We hunt a lot of NKC hunts, and it happens.
I know we normally hunt. We have our Stevens hunt. We have a couple of hunts each year.
Yes.
We have a fall hunt. It's always in Tell City, Indiana. So we hunt that one. And then we have a spring hunt that floats around the country. It's going to be in Tennessee this year, up around Paris, Tennessee, in March. So we usually hunt the two with our dogs, That's all the competition we do, really, and then we'll hit an NKC here and there if it's close.
And I used to hunt. I went to a few NSD hunts back when they had coon hunts, but Dell and I would show up to those hunts, and sometimes we'd be the only two dogs there, and we can do that at home. If I'm gonna hunt with him, I can do that here at the house.
We'll have to drive across the country to hunt.
So I hate that the NSD. I hate that they quit having the coon hunts, and I've tried to support several in Louisiana and Arkansas, and I probably would have supported more had more people shown up. But anyway, my Ace dog, he's 7 years old. He's probably one of the best dogs we got. Now, there's a half sister here, Julia, and she does pretty good. And she's a combination dog. She'll tree you squirrel during the day, and she'll tree you coon at night. And Ace probably would too. I just never had really encouraged him on treeing squirrels. I've seen him tree some squirrels, but Ace has been the overall Hugh Stevens champion. He was champion in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, spring of 23, and spring of fall of 23. I was on a streak there for a while. And then Julia, Ace got sick. I don't know if y'all know, if you're on my Facebook, he got sick with Ehrlichia, and I almost lost him. That's probably a whole nother segment. I don't know, but I'd like to share some of that with y'all.
Yeah, that Ehrlichia stuff. I've heard about it.
And tell us how you saved him.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I have this, Grand Night champion dog. Probably one of the best coon dogs I've ever hunted, and a lot of people say he's one of the best dogs they've ever seen. I've been very blessed to have him since he was 6 weeks old, and I got him from Earl Davis. He lives up in Oklahoma, and he was the only dog in his litter. And I raised him up, hunted him. Dale hated him when he was young, hated the dog. But he has turned out to be a top-notch dog. And in 2020, back in COVID, it was November 2020. Every year I'd take him to the vet, for his checkups. He was negative. He was negative for everything. He weighed about 40 pounds, which I had been hunting him a whole lot. Which 40 was kind of light, but it was November, so I've been running him pretty hard, and he was fine. He was healthy. Everything was going good. January of 22, he tested positive for Ehrlichia. They did blood work on him, and Dr. Ray over here in Kilgore gave him some doxycycline and gave him 110 milligrams and told me, he said, I want you to give him all this, and I want you to, we're going to recheck him in 6 months. It didn't show any signs of being sick. I was hunting the mess out of him. We were traveling and doing all kinds of stuff. He looked asymptomatic, and I thought, well, with COVID, who knows what this is. So I went ahead and gave him all that, and then took him back in July, about 6 months later, took him back in July, and he still tested positive. In which Ehrlichia is a tick-borne disease. And let me tell you, my dogs are some of the cleanest dogs you would ever find. We don't have a lot of fleas. We don't have ticks because we do pretty good. We take care of our animals. And but the problem with these ticks is they can get bit by a tick anywhere. It might not stick on them because of your preventative, but yet if they get bit, they can contract this tick-borne disease. So he tested positive, and Dr. Ray said, well, we need to give him another round of this doxycycline, and we'll see what's going on. We fought that. Still didn't show any signs. But when I took him back in next January, which was 6 more months later, he had dropped down to about 40 pounds and was 11% of his weight loss. And he was starting to show a lot of signs. So this is like, about going on almost 3 years of having this and not getting rid of it. And so I wanted a second opinion. He got down about 37 pounds, wasn't eating or whatever, and I wanted a second opinion. And I work in Troop, Texas, and there's a real new vet over there, and I'd heard a lot of good things about Dr. Curtis, and I took him over there to her, and he was dehydrated. He wouldn't eat. Anyway, she treated him with gave him some IVs or whatever, and he was starting to show some alarming signs of some kidney problems at this point, because she'd given him some intravenous antibiotics and hit him pretty hard with, she kept him 3 days and hit him pretty hard with some antibiotics, just trying to get rid of the allergia. And anyway, finally she called me and she said, hey, he's not eating. So I cooked chicken broth and cooked all kinds of stuff here at the house. And on my lunch break, whatever we call, I mean, I really don't get a lunch break, but made one. I'd go over to the vet during the day and try to get him to eat. Anyway, I ended up bringing him home. I thought, Lord, he's going to die anyway. So I brought him here at the house. Well, we don't have animals in this house. I don't mind getting dirty, but I'm clean. And I looked at Dale and I told him, I said, I'm bringing Ace in the house, because it's back in January. It was cold. And he's like, no, we can't bring him in the house. I'm like, that dog's coming in the house. Either I'm going out there to sleep with him or he's coming in this house. So we fixed him up a kennel here in the house over by the wood burning stove, and I got up every 2 to 3 hours giving him electrolytes and trying to get him to eat, and I did that and tried to work, and I got my neighbor, Chris's wife, come down during the day a couple of times to try to do things that I couldn't do while I was working. And finally I thought, well, he's gonna die if I don't get him to eat. And so I quit giving him the antibiotics, and I thought, his stomach's all tore up, and because of all the antibiotics. So I ordered some probiotics online on Amazon, a paste. And I just started giving him that probiotic, thinking, he needs the good bacteria back in his system. And she had given me some appetite stuff too, to try to get him to have an appetite, and it wasn't working. So anyway, I finally told Dr. Curtis, I said, he's not doing good. So she said, well, you know what, I'm gonna call around and talk to some specialists. And so she called Bryan College Station, A&M, and she called a doctor over in Dallas, and they told her that there's a doctor over here in Tyler, Texas, Dr. Noor, and I needed to get him over there to that doctor. Well, I had an appointment for that, but my birthday rolled around. So that was January. This is February. I turned 50 in February 23rd. I turned 50, and Dale had already rented the daggum country club. I mean, this time again he had me right. He rented the country club. He had it catered. We had all these people invited, and everything was going good. Well, I came home from work that day, and I went out there to check on Ace. I had him outside, and he was swollen. I mean, that dog had water all over him. His male parts was all swollen up. His legs were swollen up. It was terrible. And I looked it down, and I said, you need to cancel this birthday party, because I got to get this dog to the emergency room. He's like, nope, we're not canceling that birthday party. I didn't spend a lot of money on that birthday. We're going to the birthday, and we'll take care of the dog when we get back. So midnight on my birthday, I took Ace over to Tyler to the emergency room, and that vet told me that he was terminal, and he needed to be euthanized. And Ace was jumping up in my lap and trying to do what Ace does, get my attention and all that. And I looked at Dale and I said, you know what? If somebody kills this dog, it's going to be me. I'll do it myself. I'm not going to let him sit here and euthanize my dog. He's not staying here. I'm going to take him home. I'll take care of him. When he starts looking like he's really suffering, then I'll take him out back and I'll do it myself. And that happy dang of that vet didn't come back in there and ask me 2 more times or tell me that he needed to be euthanized. And at some point, Dale knew that I was fixing to lose it, and he told the man. He said, "Hey, don't say don't say another word. We're taking him with us." So I contacted the vet and troop and told her that he was terminal, and she contacted me. She said, "I've looked at all of his records from the vet in Tyler, and that dog is not in kidney failure. He is not. You didn't let him euthanize the dog, did you?" And I said, "No, ma'am." And she said, "I want to see him first thing in the morning." So I took him over there anyway. We got him to the vet in Tyler, and Dr. Noor did a lot of tests and ran a lot of things, and she has put him on a medicine that is a heart medicine for human. And he was taking 20 milligrams of this medicine that got his kidneys back where they needed to be. And I was feeding him Hillside Science Diet, KD, and the joint formula. And he's now down to 10 milligrams of that half of a pill. And with the Hillside Diet. And I have hunted that dog. I took that dog, got him built back up, got his muscle back on him. I mean, because he looked pitiful. Got his muscle back on him. He's treated coon since then, and I even took him to a hunt in Tell City in October and won the Friday night coon hunt with him since then. And I'll tell you, when I was hunting him that night, Jason Smith was with me. And he's from Ohio. He went out with me for my judge, and I had another man there from Tell City with me, and they went out on my cast. And first tree that Ace came, I just broke down and cried. And they were just like, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong?" Because I don't cry. And it was with tears of joy. I just said, I never thought I'd get to take this dog to another hunt. And Trey came with him and went a hunt. I never dreamed that he'd do this as sick as he's been. And I tell you, good dogs don't live long enough. And he's 7 years old. I got him home from that hunt, and we ended up getting some pellets off of him. Took him to Dallas and had some semen got off of. We collected some semen and had it frozen. And that's another thing. If you have a good dog and you think, well, I'm gonna put it off, I'm gonna take care of that one day. I'm gonna take care of that one day, and you just put it off. You need to go ahead and do it because you never know what's going to happen. And that night at that ER, when he was telling me he was terminal and he needed to be euthanized, I kept thinking if I could just get him well enough to get some semen and stuff off of him, that's all I want. But the Lord's really blessed me with Ace, and I won all kinds of things. And I used to write an article for the Full Cry, and I think I kind of gotten known in the dog world across the country by writing those articles. I think my first article was December of 2016, and I wrote an article every single month in that magazine until they up and sold it here recently.
Yeah.
And
so you lost your article when they sold?
Well, I didn't really lose the article.
Oh, okay.
What happened is I had written an article the months that they sold. Okay. And I called the ladies and I there in the Full Cry office were real good friends. After you write for so many years, they kind of become family or whatever. And every month, I'd submit an article, and I think they enjoyed reading my articles just as much as anybody. And we'd even went up there and met with them and toured the Full Cry office and looked at all the production and how they made things. And we were family with them. But I called and asked them, I said, did you get my article? And she said, you know what, we've sold the magazine. And I said, really? Well, and I had been a really good contributor to that magazine and didn't have a clue about any of that. And I said, okay, well, and I told them, I said, well, maybe whoever buys it, the owner, surely they're gonna need us to write. Surely they want us to keep submitting an article free every month, because I didn't get anything for submitting. I did it all free. It's a lot of work.
Yes, ma'am.
Writing an article every month and putting it in there. And I contacted the new owners, and I never have had a conversation with them. I emailed them, and they have sent me a couple of blanket emails, saying if I wanted to submit or whatever. But before I started writing for the new full cry, I kind of wanted to meet the people, know what is it that they want, and what kind of people are they, and those kind of things. But I know they've been on some podcasts since then. I think they're pretty nice folks. But
I've heard they were really nice people. I've never talked with them, and I don't personally know them at all. So I've heard they were nice people.
Yeah. I think they've got some pretty good things going on, but they can't guarantee that they're going to put your article in there every month. And this is the thing. It takes a lot to write a paper. It takes a lot to write it, and a lot of thought. And I'm a busy person, and if I submit something, I don't want it to just go in vain and not be submitted.
Your time is valuable. I mean, it is. It doesn't matter who it is. Time is valuable. And a good article takes a lot of time. I've read a bunch of articles. I've read a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But a good one, you can tell the effort and the time that goes in it. There's a big difference,
Yeah, I kind of missed it. I thought I never would, because it was a lot of work. It was almost kind of like a relief. I needed a break because I'd done it since 2016, and but I'm gonna tell you, we've met a lot of really good people. People have sent things here to the house that we didn't even know. One day we came home and there's a big old box of fruit from oranges, fresh oranges from someone's yard in Georgia.
Wow.
We've gotten ball caps, and people have sent us coon squallers and shirts, and I tell you, these people just really took us on to love, and across the country. We still get Christmas cards from people that read our articles every month, and they'd call here and ask how the dogs are doing by their names, and ask how my daughter was doing and called her by her first name. They really felt like they were part of our family for so many years, because I would write about faith, family, hunting, a little bit about politics, but they just felt connected to us. And that's what it is about all the dog people. And even Pat, I've not ever hunted with Pat, but I mean, just dog people in general, and people that hunt, and just good old country folks. I mean, they're family.
Yeah, and my articles must not be no good, because I write them in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I can help you out, Pat. I'm an English major. I might not sound very educated, but I can write a paper.
Well, this for a hog hunt magazine. Can't none of us understand English.
Yeah.
I put lots of pictures.
Yeah. You have your own language.
Yes, ma'am.
Some of it's sign language, but yeah.
That's right. Well, like Pat said, if you got enough pictures on it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's for hog hunters, so it takes lots of pictures and very few big words.
That's right.
Well, and when you read an article, you don't want them to brag on their own dogs. You don't want them bragging on everything they do. I tried to write very humble, like, where somebody could know. Well, matter of fact, I don't like reading articles where they think the sun comes up just to hear them crow. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there's some people right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can listen to what she just said about bragging about your own dog.
Yes.
My God, man.
We know a couple folks.
What?
What you talking about?
We took bets on how long it would take him to mention that dog's name. And I said 3 minutes, and Ashley said 31 seconds, and he said it. I was like, damn, I lost another $10.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, I tried to appeal to, and I thank the good Lord, like I say, I'm a saved sinner, and I love Jesus. I try to be a good Christian. I do, but I make mistakes, and no one's immune to anything, but I give grace. And the older I get, there's been things that's happened and circumstances that happened through dogs and things that's happened through my career and just with friends and things that it kind of humbles you a little bit. And I do look back and think, Kelly, you used to be real self-righteous. I really did. My daughter would date guys with tattoos, and I just hated it. Well, now I got me 6 of my own. I turned 50, and I thought, dadgummit. And you know what my very first tattoo was?
What's that?
That. Can you tell them what my tattoo looks like on my right arm?
No, you go ahead.
It's on my Facebook.
I know.
It's a coon. It's a dog tree and a coon.
I was going to say, that's something to do with a coon. Okay, there you go.
No, and he's standing in the wood on it.
It's Ace. It's Ace Katrina Coon, and now I've got 6. But anyway, and you know what? These tattoos have helped connect. Yep. People think, "Damn, she can live a little bit," or maybe she's just not all goody two shoes anyway. Wow. It's opened up some conversations that I might not would have. And that Full Cry, we've met a lot of people. It was a good magazine, and I know people miss it, and I hate that my grandkids aren't going to get to read it, unless the owners of this one keep going. But they appeal to a certain group. I think used to had a lot of feist and cur things in it, and we still get it. I mean, we still subscribe to it, but there's a whole lot of hound stuff in there now, and some big game stuff too, and which is good. It's all good. I support it. But
what's that?
Not everything, lasts forever.
What's that? That Southern Houndsman? Is that the one, the newer magazine that I don't know how long it's been out? It ain't been out real long, has it, Nate?
I don't think so.
Did they have all kinds of dogs in there?
Yeah, they got a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
They're hunting everything, don't they?
Yes. Yeah, they have sections like it'll be, hog dogs, bear dogs, coon dogs, little bit of everything. Y'all check them out.
That's good.
Y'all check them out. They support everything that we do, everything that any of our our comrades do, like Boars N Broads. They do a tournament, and we help them do their tournaments, hog hunting tournaments, and so Southern Houndsmen they'll take and they'll donate stuff. They're involved, and whether it's hog hunting or bear hunting or running deer dogs, whatever they're involved in it.
That's good.
Talking about the barking on track, I went with a guy from I think it was Indiana or somewhere. They come down. Me and Brad Stanley, we went, and that guy said, "This is the complete opposite of anything I ever saw. This man's cur dogs bark on track, and the July walkers is silent." He said he's completely dyslexic. I said, "Well, I got these registered walker dogs, and I got these. They're not registered, but they're going to be bushy type Kimmers is really what they're going to be. Maybe some Stevens in there, I'm not for sure. But they're big old bobtail yellow dogs. Joey's seen them.
Yep.
And they bark on the track. They got a little ear on them, but they tree hard. They run to catch whatever you're after. It don't matter, pinning cows or blood trailing a deer. It don't matter. And
true cur dog, huh?
Yeah, and see that I breed. People just go get any old dog from a fox pen and think they gonna inbreed that into their stuff. I went and bought a dual field champion from the fox pen, one that was already in trouble for killing the cows. He was running to catch them and eat them, and it took me a while to get him bought. And when I hung that over the top of them bobtailed, big, say 50-pound yeller dogs, boy, look out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the trouble I had, and Joey can tell you, the first year I run at Uncle Earl's, I got a 10 in the pen, but he bit everybody in the pen and tried to climb out.
All right, Rascal, watch you.
That was bad, man. And 2 weeks later, I won a fox pen field trial with the same dog I had made the second round of bay-off with at a hog field trial, So that's that half busher, half July walker.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I won't breed nothing else. I ain't rich, but I can breed what the hell I want.
That's right.
And that's what I breed. And Joey's got some of them over there, some of them yellow bobtail dogs.
Mm-hmm.
The old man I get them from is so far gone off the papers, he can't tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
Speaking of Uncle Earl's, we used to go to Uncle Earl's quite a bit back 10 years ago, brother. Is it still a big deal like it used to be?
It's bigger than it's ever been. It's 700.
Huge.
Used to be 300 runs. Now it's 700 runs.
Dang.
You know who we met there one time? You remember the reality show? I guess it was a reality show, the Hog Hunters.
Oh yeah. See, Ronnie's on my pro staff.
Yep.
Ronnie Creek off of that show. So
Yeah.
she come up there with him. Ronnie's
we
on the Tuskers magazine.
I got my picture with them.
We met all of them there one time.
Yeah, with Ashley Campbell.
Yeah, I think the older man, he's passed on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah.
Yeah.
They was there with us, and I've had Floyd Boudreaux, the Bulldog man, there with us. Just if it's somebody like that, you know, just about it. I've had them up there with me.
It's growing
if they real
every
dog
year.
men, if they real dog men, you know.
That's good.
But y'all need to come back. I got a big.
Yeah, I do.
To do that.
Well, let me tell y'all, and I better be careful because I know everybody listens to this. Dale told me to be nice when I get on here because he said, you know, everybody's gonna listen.
Listen,
let me tell you,
say what you gotta say. That'll make them listen
I'm
even
gonna tell
more.
y'all this. Let me maybe this will just help some people. The first hog band I think that I ever went to, he's over here laughing because he knows what I'm about to say. My daughter how old was Bailey? My daughter's beautiful. I'm just telling y'all. She's a real pretty girl, and she looked gritty like her mama. But anyway, we went to this hog band, and we didn't dress up because I knew we might be walking around through a bunch of mud and stuff. And we parked out in this pasture, and I don't even remember where it was. We probably don't even want to say, but we got out, and we was having a real good time. But I swear, I was the only woman there that had all my teeth and a bra on.
That was you in Alabama? Were you in Alabama?
No, we was in East Texas.
No, we was in East Texas, but we is in deep East Texas. I'm telling you,
I in the Piney Woods.
If I had heard a banjo, I'd have hit the deck.
Oh my goodness, that is wonderful.
My husband, and here's my teenage daughter, and they were drinking out there too. Which I ain't scared of nobody, especially when it comes to my daughter. I mean, I was giving some of them, but some of them people out there drinking, they was looking at us like we was hamburger meat or something. I told my husband, I said, "What have you brought us to?" Oh my goodness. I'll never forget that. But we've been to some really nice ones. Matter of fact, they used to have some hog bands in Diana where I'm from.
Yeah. The one in Tyler, we've been.
Yeah, the one out there off of, in Winona.
Yeah, at the Boars Nest. That's a real good friend of mine, Paul Greenwood.
Mm-hmm.
He's a supporter. He sponsors classes at Uncle Earl's every year. He's top. He's a top-notch dog man from way back. Really a coon dog man from Indiana, I think, where he's originally from.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like going to them. It's a fun deal.
We've even been out to who's the MMA fighter that y'all had on here not too long ago?
The one that had it in Coons.
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah, we even went to his.
Who, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go out to his too.
Yeah. Well, he's got Uncle Earl's now. He's one running Uncle Earl's, and Jake does about all of them now, don't he?
Yeah, we do them all.
I was going to say there's a whole group. Pat and Jake and Randy Darrell does probably most of the work. If I
oh my God! Hey, he's got a little bitty tube though. He works for a little bitty tube.
I just had to throw that in there, Pat.
Where are you from, Pat? Where are you from?
I'm from right there, out of Zawali, Louisiana, but I live in Center now.
Zawali to Molly's. You know my mama was born there.
Well, that's why he's pretty then.
My mother was
that's
born
why
in
he's
Zawali.
pretty.
Yeah, my Aunt McKella, that's who I got my name off of. She lived in Zawali. She's buried out there in one of those cemeteries. But my mom was born in Zawali and lived in Manny. And the Michelle's, Meshela. was her maiden name, and she
Well, that
let's see.
explains a lot of why you the way you are.
I know, I'm crazy. And then my dad, hey, get this. Hey, Joey's gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
Guess where my dad is from?
What?
Brilliant, Alabama.
You gotta be
Brilliant.
kidding me.
Winfield. My daddy went to school at Winfield.
My son, the truck y'all heard a while ago, he just got back from Winfield. I live about 20 minutes from Brilliant.
My dad was born in Brilliant.
What was your dad's name?
Vickery, Vickery.
Vickery.
Do you know Johnny Spann?
Yeah, Johnny Michael Spann, yes.
Johnny Michael Spann's my uncle. He's married to my Aunt Gail.
Hey, I told
you
y'all
gotta be kidding me.
No, I ain't kidding you. No.
They named the highway. They named Michael after his son Michael, the one that got killed.
That's my first cousin that got killed in Afghanistan.
He got killed in Afghanistan. They named the highway after him.
First cousin.
Wow!
That's
my goodness!
Cousin. My daddy and Michael's mama are brother and sister.
Well, we live in Jasper, which is it's a little bit bigger than Winfield. It's just right up the road though. I think it's 30 miles exactly.
So you mix a Louisiana woman with a bootlegging Alabama man, and you live in Texas, and I'm a product of it.
There you go.
Hey, y'all better quit talking before we all end up from Arkansas.
Hey, that's where I'm originally from, Pat. Calm down.
I know.
At least it ain't Mississippi. Thank God for Mississippi.
So, Pat, I still got family in Hornbeck.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend from Zawali.
Okay, well, we used to go to Alec. We call it Alec to get.
Yeah, Alexandria.
We used to go to Alec to eat. Leesville. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, so Joey, did you know the David Davis from Colum? He played bluegrass music. David Davis and the Royal River Boys. Did you ever know him? He's a mandolin player up there in Colum.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He passed away in a car accident.
Yes.
He was good friends with him. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to play a lot of bluegrass music too.
Do y'all know? Farrell Key?
Farrell Key.
Yeah.
I heard that name before.
Hey, well, he would sit in with the Warrior River Boys a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, what was that other kid's name? Adam?
There's several of them. He said several come through there, but
yeah, we used to.
Good friend of ours.
Yeah, they lived up in Coleman.
Yeah.
Odell can play the mandolin and the fiddle.
Really?
Yeah, I play the 3/4 size doghouse bass, and our daughter plays guitar, and we used to pick up a banjo player, and we played a lot of bluegrass music.
Well, I'll be there.
I play the radio.
I was thinking to say that's what I play, radio.
You gotta have radio players.
Bullshit. Don't let
you gotta have people that play and people to listen.
Yeah.
He can sing.
Who can?
Joey can sing. Don't let him fool you.
Sing me something, Joey.
Oh my goodness!
I'm not gonna say
Joey.
Pat, what are you getting me into? What was that?
Hey, Joey, cut down on something.
I can't listen. Y'all get me to cut down on that. I don't know how to sing, y'all.
Joey.
I don't know how to sing.
I'm not gonna say.
The last time I sang. Yeah, I was going to say, Pat been talking to my sister is what it was. She showed you that. Did she show you that video where Dolly Parton was listening to me sing, Pat?
Yes.
So Miss Dolly, she said, that boy can sure sing. I said, boy, she must be drinking. Something was going on.
Come on now, Joey. Kick in, Joey.
Oh, no.
Sing, Joey? You sing country?
I used to sing a little bit. But I just
He can sing.
Can't sing no more.
He can sing.
I got Louisiana woman, Mississippi man.
Oh, now you talk.
Together every time we can.
There you go.
Come on, Joey.
Let's get some Conway going on.
Come on. Don't take it away. Come on, Joey. I know you know it.
He said, don't take it away. Oh, my goodness. Y'all ain't going to get me. I'm telling you, I can't do it. Today's my birthday, too. I got old now.
I know it.
Happy birthday.
There you go.
To you. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, Lord. I like
Happy birthday, dear Joey. Happy birthday to you.
Sing it, girl. Sing it. Thank you. Appreciate
Look
that.
here. See,
Hey,
look.
let me talk to the women just a minute.
Okay.
Are y'all watching that lambing show? That Billy Bob Thornton, that
Yeah.
show called Lambing? Are y'all
Yeah.
watching that?
Yep.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, Billy Bob Thornton, I know he didn't write this line, but he hit that on the head the other night when he was in that kitchen talking to his ex-wife.
Yep.
And she was all upset. Did y'all watch that episode?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Tell me why she was upset, Joey. She was fixing a dinner. Did you never see all that?
Yeah. And he was like, "What? Well, calm down." She started crying. He said, "Are you fixing to start your period?"
Yeah.
Are you on
Okay.
your period?
Well, that ain't what I'm getting at.
That's all I took of it because I'm a man.
Okay,
He
so
said, "Well,
listen,
she had this vision painted in her head, and that ain't really what it was."
Yeah. Well, that's right. There you go, Joey. You're trainable. Yeah.
You're the first one that's ever said that, and I've had a couple of plaintiffs.
So ladies, and I'm preaching to myself. I do a lot of self-counseling. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing, women. Sometimes we just do it for others. We need to do it for ourselves. Do it because we like it. You know, we're all the time trying to do something for somebody. But we need to do it because we like it. And don't expect folks to appreciate things because you're just going to get disappointed.
Yep.
Hello.
You know, we walk around with our lip dragging the ground because we do things and we have these expectations.
Yeah. Hey, that's the only way we can be offended, the Bible says, is through unmet expectations.
Amen.
You know, and I love people, and I do think I'll give you a shirt off my back. And I'm gonna tell you, even you two men right here, I don't hang out with y'all, but if we're standing somewhere and we're together and we're all getting along, and somebody goes to jacking with y'all, I will be in front of you. You know, I will be doing everything I can to take it because that's just the type of person I am. But my feelings get hurt when it's not reciprocated.
Yep.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
that's not your fault. That's not Dale's fault. I did that to myself because I have expectations. So, you know, women, it's hard to be a woman in today's time. It really is because society has us looking like a certain way, acting like a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And
they want you to be a picture that somebody else painted.
That's right. And you know what, ladies? You need to be your own dang hero.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own.
If they don't
follow
like
your own path. Have self-worth, you know? Have the right to make your own choices. And my daddy, he raised 3 of us girls, and he said, I will not ever raise a victim.
Hey.
Amen. Yes.
Hey, this is life-changing stuff, y'all.
It is.
You know?
And that's a fact. If people would take that right there, what you just said, don't be the victim. I mean, it can happen. Yeah,
if you fall victim, you can't stay there.
That's right.
If you make it out alive, you can't stay there. You know, you have the right to be resourceful. You have control of your own life at some point, and you have the right to choose. You have a choice, and don't stay there.
That's right. You don't have to stay there.
That's why me and my last wife split up. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You just don't have a gold buckle mentality."
Yeah.
And you're dragging me down. We
can't be defined by norms or expectations. We just can't. You know, we have to be defined by our own passion, courage, unwavering love for ourselves. You know, I didn't always know that. The older I get, the more I've learned. And I'll tell you too, you know, writing that full cry and meeting a lot of people. I've had a lot of people write me letters. And I'm telling you, sometimes when you're down in the dump and you think things aren't going good, there's always somebody that's got a whole lot worse story or a whole lot worse more.
Yes, say it. Say it for the people in the back. There's always something worse for somebody. It ain't that bad.
No,
it ain't that bad. It'll be over.
And I've had people write me saying, and this is going to hit hard, but I've had people write me back saying that if it hadn't have been for those articles and that full cry giving them hope, they were going to kill themselves. And I've had grown men call here.
Mhm.
I mean, old as my daddy, call crying and telling me that they really appreciate the things that I've written. And I'm telling you, there's people across this country hurting
Mhm.
and needing friends. And so if there's any ladies out there that don't feel like they got any self-worth, or they're down on their on their luck or whatever, and you want to go on a good coon hunt and get out and hold you on, I ain't gonna carry you across the creek.
That's right.
You're gonna have to get across that creek yourself. But I'll help you.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I'll pray with you, and I'll pray for you. And sometimes you might just need to get you a good dog.
That's right.
Hey,
Get
Man.
rid of the man and
Hey,
get you a dog.
There you go. Get rid of them
If I-
deadbeats and get you a good cur dog.
Hey, if I had a good cur dog, I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. I'd be trying to put something up the woods. if I
That's
had a
right.
good-
That's why we're on here talking. Everybody knows it, Pat. They know. You see them Facebook heroes, they already know. They're like, well, y'all do a podcast. Apparently, y'all don't hunt. I was like, yeah, ain't
Yeah,
that the
hey.
truth?
Hey, the one and the little one from Mississippi that give you such a fit,
Oh,
give
yeah.
you such a fit, and everything.
Well, you burn him
So
up.
I burned him up. I've had a stud dog for 2.5 years, and didn't nobody know about it. Keep somewhere else. And he come on there and said, "So you own that dog?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, you got to watch these old podcasts and hog hunters."
Yeah, he said the world. He said
They'll
you,
put it
he
on
said
your
you
ass,
own
ain't
the
there?
world famous Smokey.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I do.
Yeah, well, that was good.
By the way, that belongs to me.
But you know, like Kella was saying, up until the first part of this year, we were doing this podcast, and y'all know, I mean, if anybody's out there listening, or y'all yourselves, we would put out the episode once a month or once every 4 or 5 weeks sometimes, and it just really wasn't nothing that was super serious. It's something that we enjoyed to do, but you know, it was just something that was a hobby. Well, I started getting calls, and people would send me messages, and they were like, man, you don't know how much listening to y'all talking and listening to, having this guest on or this guest or that, how much it's helped me. And it really shook me to the core when I had a guy from Australia, from New South Wales, message me, and he was having some issues. He's having some problems. And we talked it out, had a good time. We laughed and joked, talked about dogs. Everything's good. And I knew then.
Well,
I said now I know why I'm supposed to do this.
Well, and the thing is everybody in this earth has a purpose. They have a purpose. And when my purpose is over, God will take me home.
That's right.
But He has used me in so many different ways in all walks of life. But I'm gonna tell you, these dogs, I've met a lot of people. I've helped a lot of people. People have helped me, and it's priceless. Family doesn't have to be blood related. And I've had people. I mean, there's been inmates that have written me and said, "Hey, my mom has subscribed to this article, and I'm involved with an inmate in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. It's been 5 years."
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote Dale and I, and he said, "Hey, my dad was superintendent of a public school in Arkansas. He died, and within 6 months, I found myself on drugs and alcohol, and now I've landed, in the penitentiary here in Arkansas. And my dad had these dogs, and we hunted them, and I read your article every month, and you get me through month to month." Well, after a lot of research and praying and looking into stuff, I've helped him quite a bit, and he's in college. He's about to graduate with an associate's degree in Arkansas Department of Corrections, and God has a sense of humor. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
and,
God, it does.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
If
me.
you'd have told me 6 years ago that I was going to be involved with a felon in the Arkansas Department of Corrections, I'd have looked at you and told you he was crazy, and I would have said, he made that bed, he needs to lay in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so quick to say that, because none of us are immune to hard times. None of us are immune to making wrong choices. We got to give grace. And
people
To get
like
grace,
yes,
you got to give it.
Yep.
To get grace, you got to give it first. Whatever you want in life, you got to give it away first. If you want love, you got to love people. If you want kindness, you got to be kind to people.
Mm-hmm.
I tell those kids at school all the time, you want a friend, you got to be a friend.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's
You
a
know?
fact. When we first started going to the bay pens, I noticed like, and it used to be an ongoing thing about, well, they're all in these little cliques or these little groups. And as
Right.
I would sit back and I would kind of look at everybody, and I was like, well, there's been a few people come by and talk to us, and they say, hey, how you doing, and all that, and I got to notice, and I said, yeah, it seems like everybody is kind of clicked up, But then I really realized myself, I was like, once I got home, I had all my buddies, and I said, well, we're our own little clique too. And so when I went back to the next bay pen, I just got up, went over and walked in the middle of a group of people and started talking, introduced myself. I put out the friendship. And the first time I met Pat, first time I met Jake, Randy, all those guys, we've been friends ever since. And it was like, you gotta put forth the effort to receive it. You can't stand in the corner with your face in the corner, expect people just to come up and say, boy, I want to hang out with that guy.
Or looking down your nose at people just because they don't have on the right chaps or snake leggings boots or the right kind of dog. That's another thing is we need to quit fighting each other. We need, on these dogs and try to outdoing each other. We need to respect each other for the dogs that they have and bond together to protect the rights to hunt these dogs.
Boy, there you go. There you go, fellas. There you go.
I don't care what kind of dog you have. You're going to lose the right to hunt it. And I'm going to tell you, finding places to hunt is another problem.
Oh, it's getting worse.
They're cutting it, cutting the woods out around here left and right. And
same thing here.
We're going to continue to lose our rights to our wildlife management areas and all that too. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get on that Texas Parks and Wildlife
I hope
Commission.
you get on there. I really do.
Abbott doesn't want to appoint. It's appointed job. And I just knew that I would be a shoe-in. I've got an education and I've got a good head on me. And plus I our educational background to it. And, the Texas Parks and Wildlife is supposed to do so many educational programs for our youth and for our community, and I just knew it would be easy. But the more I've looked into it and talked to people, it's the most sought out position out of any of Texas's government appointed positions. And I've learned now why. It's once you get on that commission, there's a lot of perks. You get to hunt on these places free, and you get people contacting you, wanting you to push this issue and push that issue, and a lot of politics involved in that kind of thing. And so a lot of the people that are on that commission, if you'll go and read, some of their backgrounds and their biographies, they're big oil men, oil money, lots of got very affluent people, very affluent agendas and those types of things. And not that they're not good people and not that they're not making good choices, but, sometimes we just need somebody that's level-headed, that's rubbing elbows with the common folk to be a voice for the common folk. And we need someone, from East Texas to represent our state. And two, I'm hunting these wildlife management areas. I'm hunting, these leases and things like that. And there's a lot of things that need to be improved as far as taking care of them.
Yeah. And I mean, with you're being a part of it from both sides, well, from every angle as a hunter, and then from the political side of it. I mean, you analyze, you're an analyst for sure. You're a teacher, you've got all these points of view and you're hands-on. It seems like you would be the perfect candidate for that.
You know what it is? He's Governor Abbott is an attorney. He cut his teeth and started on being, an attorney. And he did. I was told by his office that he didn't care to appoint anyone that's been paid their career and their job being paid by government funding, which, school teachers, it's by tax dollars. But the thing is just because I'm an educator and a teacher and I've chosen to dedicate my life to the future of this country and to the families and kids in our area, doesn't mean I check my rights and my hobbies and things at the door, can I not be an educator, but yet also be a hunter and serve on a board and a commission that's going to help make decisions and be a voice for the people in my area, or the ones that, need me to make informed decisions. So, I see his point, but at the same time, we need some people with some common sense and that don't have ill agendas and pockets to pat.
There you go. Well, and see,
those
that's,
types
I
of
just
things.
need a dog. I just need a dog.
Yeah, and hey, too, before we need to get this East Texas Hunting Dog Association. If you live in East Texas, you live in Texas, and you can make the drive, we're gonna have a meeting before long. We have not had one, but probably after the first of the year, after the holidays, y'all be ready. Y'all show up. We need to get together, and we need to have a meeting. We need to look at what laws and things are coming out
do y'all
in the
got a Facebook
legislature.
page, or y'all got some kind of websites and stuff?
Yeah, we have the Boals Creek Kennel page, but
Nate
it's
can
hard
put
for
the
me to
link
manage.
in. Nate can put the link in the description on the podcast.
Yeah, well, just you can just put it to. We do have East Texas Hunting Dog Association. We have a Facebook page on that.
Okay.
It's not very active, but yeah. And
Well,
then
we need to
my
get it
personal
active.
page. Yeah, my personal page too. We can put that on there, but
Okay.
we need to get together. If nothing else, not too long ago, I get lots of calls when people's dogs get shot, or when there's something that comes up. I kind of I'm a go-to person, but
Yes.
if I don't know the answer, then I'll try to find the answer by calling representatives or whoever, or an attorney, my sister in law. But sometimes Louisiana was having an issue just right across the border there. Pat, you might remember this. They were trying to keep the dogs from hunting in a certain area or whatever, and they were having a hearing. They were going to have a round community.
That was where I was, like, right across the river from me.
Yes.
And
well, I got a phone call. About that. Somebody called me and said, "Hey, we got this going on," and I'm like, "I'm going to be there. I will so be there, and I'm bringing an army with me."
Yeah, I think that army's what scared them. They dropped.
You got it, Pat. You got it. I had people from Arkansas, people from here, this area. We had a posse.
Yeah,
and I called those people, and I told them, I said, "We're coming to this meeting. Where's it being held?" Well, she can hear me and understand I'm not from Louisiana. She can hear the way I talk. She asked me where I was from, and I told her. She said, "Well, what interest do you have in it?" And I said, "Because you're right there, just a step over the state line. And if Louisiana does something like this, and Texas could follow suit, and we're not having it." And I told them, we hunt down there at Yellow Dog in some of those areas, and we hunted in Louisiana a few times too, on some private land. And I said, it just affects us as a whole.
Yep.
And I called and told her, I said, "Do y'all gonna have enough room for all these people?" And then some of those people, I gave them the number and told them to call, and they shut that down. They completely did not want to entertain that. And that right there shows that we don't speak out enough. We don't.
And that was all started by people that used to dog hunt.
Yeah.
That had just a couple of 100 acres.
Now
they didn't want nobody, nothing. They wanted to name their deer and all that type of shit.
Oh.
That's right.
And they had a little oil field money from the oil field coming in. So boy, they thought they was special, but they found out right quick that they wasn't. They was fixing to face a lot.
We don't need to wait until something like that almost happens or does happen, and then we're trying to get it changed. Just like, for instance, what was that deal in the yearbook this year? They took squirrel dogs from out of Alizon.
Yeah, Alizon.
And none of us knew about it. It wasn't on the agenda, because I went back and looked and think, dang, how did I miss that? It wasn't on the agenda at the Texas Wildlife Commission. It was a local decision that someone made. Well, we got to making a bunch of phone calls, and apparently it's going to get changed. Oh. But too bad we missed a whole season and having to wait for it to get changed. you know. So I don't know if anybody else is interested in all this. I'd love to have a meeting, and
It
I
should
don't
be.
mind bringing up. I don't mind bringing up the, you know, the legislative piece to this at that meeting that we have. And it's not just Texas, you know, it's across, like, you know, that was Louisiana, but it will affect us if we let it go on too long. So we've got to support each other across the country.
Here's my challenge to every man out there listening. Get half as involved as Miss Kelly is.
Yes.
Get half as involved and put half the give a damn in it she puts in it. And I promise you, they won't nobody ever take nothing else from us.
No,
Well,
I
and
have to agree with that.
Same thing with,
That's a lot.
same thing with these dogs getting shot, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh, help me if my dog ever gets shot. Y'all gonna have to send me some commissary money and some phone time. You hear me? Because I would probably be in the penitentiary. I can't fathom having to go through that. But it happens to people a lot across the country, and we need to get serious about it. There needs to be tough consequences for shooting somebody's dog that has on an obvious tracking collar and collars and belongs to somebody. You know, we really need to be loud about that, because by the time it happens to you, it's too late.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I can't help you guys that run blue ticks and plots and all that, but at least you could get involved. I mean,
that's right.
Boy, my house supply ain't well now, ain't it?
Hey, well, hey, I wish there was an attorney too. You know, I wish we could find like an attorney that would represent, you know, a group of people or whatever, that we can pull our funds together or whatever. And if something was to happen, you know, you don't call, you would have that ready.
There used to be. Now this is going to dabble into something that you probably ain't going to agree with, but in the dog fighting world, there used to be a conglomeration of attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say the name of it was the Cavalry Group or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find out. And you pay $200 a year to join this association thing with them. But if PETA showed up at your house,
yeah,
you could say, hold on, that's fine. But I have an attorney on retainer. If that $200 puts you in attorney, and they could not go on your property without your attorney present, and they would call you one out of goddamn Canada or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was going to take like 2 weeks for him to be available.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say it was to pay $200 a year, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if we can't. I'm not sure if we can't get our own version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. That I think it very well could.
I tell you what, it ain't gonna take but suing a few people civilly. To realize, hey, you know what? Just let that dog go on. He'll be gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I won't have to worry about going to jail for the rest of my life.
Well, and I think sometimes when these things happen to people, you know, we all kind of hear about it, but we don't understand, and we don't tell people how it would be better handled.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's too late when you're in the middle of it. I mean, one night Dale and I were hunting in a competition hunt out of state, and we were with a guide, and my ace dog got off on someone else's property, and I, you know, needed to get him back to Texas. And you know, I'm a concealed handgun owner, and Dale is too, and we usually take our firearm with us wherever we're at and hunting, and he got on someone else's property, and there were big old signs of we will prosecute to the fullest, this and that and all that. And he was treed, and the guy ended up saying, well, you know, I know who owns this property. Somebody, his daughter or somebody worked for the guy. So we went on in to get Ace, and next thing I know, we're headed back to the truck, and truck lights are going off, and we hear this man screaming and hollering. I mean, hollering and screaming, "These dadgum hog hunters! I want them prosecuted to the fullest." I mean, he was irate, and here I was handling the dog, and I told Dale, I said, "Well, we probably fixing to go to jail right here tonight. This would be the night we go to jail, and I'm gonna have to call somebody to come get my dog because he ain't going to the pound." Well, we get up to the truck, and I think the only thing that saved us that night to keep from all going to jail and trespassing, because he was on the phone with the law and they were coming, and he was mad, was I was a woman. When I walked up to the man, which the guide was hollering, "Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, it's me. You know, my wife works with so-and-so and so." So he was hollering and screaming about ready to hurt us. And I slipped down my gun, and he walked around the back side around to the truck, you know, and got rid of them real quick, like, because, you know, that's a felony to have a gun trespassing. And I walk up to the man, and I've got the dog on the leash, and the guy's trying to talk to him, and he's not listening. And I take my cane hat off because I didn't want to blind the man. I took my cane hat off, and I had long hair back then. My hair fell down over my shoulders. And that man was looking at me, and I said, "Sir," he looked at me like I'd slapped him. I said, "This is my dog that's treed on your property, and I'm responsible for this." And he said, looked at me again like, "I can't believe this is a woman." And I said, "Sir, we're on a competition hunt, and my dog," and I told him where we were hunting. And I said, "My dog got on your property, and I am sorry, but I need to get back to Texas with my dog." Then he started listening to the guide, made connections between what he was saying, and we got out of there and got to Texas. But I tell you, you know, those types of things of being able to right to retrieve your dog when your dog's treed on someone else's property will be the first thing that I'll try to change in Texas is the right to retrieve property. I know other states have that, but when I lost my AJ dog down there behind that high fence, and a game warden and a sheriff and nobody else is going to help me against the high fence people, deer people, they didn't want to mess with those people either, and I couldn't retrieve my property. That kind of, you know, put something in my craw. And
so what are you supposed to do? I mean, you know, if they
I had to
won't come
leave him
help
there.
you.
I had to leave him there 3 days, but I wasn't going to leave. You know, he was here in Texas, but I wasn't going to leave my dog up out of town.
No.
I can't just drive back and forth from Texas to that, where was it, Dale? Up North Louisiana somewhere. I just can't drive back and forth looking for him. And I don't know a person or a soul in that area. And I just had to go get him that night. But when we got back to that truck, I didn't know if I was going to have to go to the parish. You know, that's a parish. That's not a county there in Louisiana. That's a parish jail. And then there we are, you know, carrying a firearm too. So
it's pretty rough.
But you heard what he said. "These daggum hog hunters, I'm tired of them cutting my fence. I'm tired of them tearing up my property." That's another thing, world, that you're listening to. Don't run it for the rest of us.
Amen.
Respect the property owners. Quit cutting their fences. Quit going in and doing things and putting ruts in their pastures and in their tearing down their fences and things like that. I mean, you're going to hurt it for the rest of us that are trying to do right.
I don't understand why everybody can't be like me and trespass and nobody know it.
Yeah.
And people thought I was hunting. And people thought I was hunting with a thermal at night. No, I was using that to make sure I could spot them game cameras on them trees so they get my damn picture to it.
There you go.
Yeah. But I didn't have no gun. I wasn't trying to kill nothing. I was like, Miss Kella, I was just trying to get my damn dog, man.
Well, I really truly think there needs to be a law passed that if you don't want anybody going in and retrieving their property, their dog, then you need to have a sign every so many posts or whatever with a phone number where I can call the people and they can come get it for me.
That's right. Yeah, there's got to be some way to do it, because what if their little Pomeranian got loose and ran over there to your house? You know what I mean?
Pooped in our yard.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, well, it's my fur baby. Well, those are our fur babies too. They're just a little bit different.
Yeah.
See, in Alabama, everybody here, and I'm gonna go. I might be a little wrong on this, but I'm gonna say probably 80% or more. They say, well, we got a right to retrieve law. No, we don't.
Yeah, we don't. We're in Texas.
We don't have one here either. Now, we did. Well, I put it this way. They never said nothing about it. It never was expressed. But now we have a 3-strike rule too. So if our dog gets on another property and the landowner calls the game warden, we get a warning. We can get our dog, but we get a warning. Then the second time, I think we get a fine. And then the third time, I think you get a penalty, like they take your license. I'll have to actually look up on there, double check all that, or get an 8-2. But we got a 3-strike rule, basically. It's like it's a little bit ridiculous, but at the same time, dog hunting has diminished quite a bit. Used to, like we've had a dog supply store for a few years, and we've got a good bit of coon hunters that are around here. But it's not enough to even keep the store, a walk-in store up and going to where it should be, And so a lot of people, the older people they're dying out, and some of these young folks, they move out here where we live at, but they work in Birmingham or Tuscaloosa in the bigger cities, and they don't want your dogs nowhere on their property, and they come out and they buy and lease everything. And they're not understanding
it all. They probably like Auburn too, don't they?
They probably do.
They probably like Auburn.
Yeah, that means there's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? If they like Auburn, we don't get into that a whole lot, because around here, I made a couple of jokes when I first moved here from Arkansas, and let me tell you, they take it serious. Serious. The Roll Tide War Eagle is for real.
Yeah, well, I like the dogs, but I don't like the Georgia dogs.
There you go.
They spanked us twice.
I like Georgia because Ryan Rankin, he won a national championship with them, and he resembles Uncle Rico off that Napoleon Dynamite movie.
He does, don't
so he? He's a good part. Every year I pick at him and said, "You gonna bring a football and play toss with the kids? Maybe sell some Tupperware, stuff like that."
That's something good. He's a ball player now.
He is. He's a good one. Ma'am.
We gotta play Clemson now. We Longhorns gotta play Clemson.
Yeah.
Still in the playoffs, and all these Aggies thought it was funny. All these Aggies thought it was funny that we got beat by Georgia again, and there's all talking, I'm like, well, where did y'all play this weekend? Y'all didn't play this weekend. So y'all got a daggone bowl game. We going off to the playoffs. Yeah. I don't hear it.
I think Jake Locano is a big Aggies fan, ain't he, Pat?
Yeah. Him and Miss Kella is probably the two biggest Longhorn fans in Texas.
You know what? I did see his post where he says somebody needs a Longhorn floor. He puts that sprinkle stuff on them floors. I did see that, and I thought, man, if he bad I don't have a floor, I could put me some burnt orange sprinkles on it.
Oh, man.
Hey, I got talking about a burnt orange. I got a report today back from a guy named Marlin over here. I let have one of them half pushers, Kimmer July crosses, and he said, I got to ask, this is how he reported about the dog I let him have. He said, I got to ask today how far she would run one. He says, I don't know. We started at daylight, and I caught her at dark crossing the road running another. He says, I don't know how long she'll go, but I know how long Marlin goes.
Yeah.
12 hours.
Well, that's a good
He said,
report
boy,
there.
how do you stop them? I was like,
You don't.
you know, when you start, everybody wants a casting dog now. But we've been casting dogs for 25 years because our cur dogs casted.
Yeah.
Miss Kella, we them Busher type. And I'm going to tell you another type, the old black brindle-legged Catahoulas.
Yep.
Not the spotted up ones, but the black ones with the brindle legs and the double dew claws like the tree claws. They probably had some damn Kimmer or Stevens in them.
You look at that old junior dog I got, Pat. That's what he is. Everybody thinks he's something else, but he's Catahoula. He's black, brindle legs. Inside his legs are brindle.
What he got?
He
got a lot of eyes. Does he have a lot of eyes?
No. He's got almond eyes on him. And now he probably does have a little bit of something else in there. I can't be 100% on that, but I promise you, they don't stand around your feet.
No, sir. And everybody thinks I put that Walker dog for speed to them, but I didn't. Ain't nothing should outrun a cur dog for 800 yards.
No.
A greyhound shouldn't outrun a good cur dog for 400 yards. You know what I mean? For real.
Mm-hmm.
Say at 200 yards sprint, a damn cur dog will outrun anything.
Yep.
So I put it in there for that bottom because these races got longer.
Yeah.
And the hogs run harder and faster. I put them in there so they could finish. So the dog could finish with the meat instead of finish looking at me wondering where the meat went.
That's a fact.
And that's why we put that.
Changed.
But you see me when I hunt around the house, I'm hunting them Busher type bobtail dogs. I leave walking from the house, and hell, if they bay too far, I just go to the house. And everybody says, "Well, you don't got no tracking collar." I say, "Hell, half of them ain't even got a dog collar."
Yeah.
Shit, I got somebody to bite your ass. Man, I don't want nobody to know I own that. You know.
That's right.
He go over and kill somebody's goat.
Yeah, they'll be in trouble. They'll know who the convict is then.
Hey, look, everybody knows they my dogs. You know, I mean, they come to see me, but you got some of that over there doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, they'll roll out. I promise you, they get busy.
So we've sat here and had a conversation. Come to find out, we got the same kind of dog, the same hunting style. The same beliefs.
Raised in the same places.
The same person. Come to find out y'all damn near kin.
Yeah.
And she probably is kin to my girlfriend in here from Florida.
That's what I was just to say now. I've been noticing your Facebook. Tell me, you are getting pretty thick. You're posting stuff first thing in the morning about her.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
Facebook
thick.
Official, I'm telling you.
I tried to run her off, and she just won't go, so hell with it. Might as well feed her.
There you
go.
Well,
that's right. Yeah. That's what Dale said. That's what Dale says about me. I just keep hanging on, just keep hanging around.
Me and old Dale's a lot alike. It's going to take a pretty good one to stay under the pressure.
I told my wife a few years ago, me and her, we got in an argument one day, and I just kept picking. I honestly, I was just one of them moods, and I thought it was funny, you know. And and I had her cry. I mean, she done got soiled up. She was fighting mad. And she said, you know what? She said, I'll just go get in that Yukon and I'll leave. I said, well, you want me to pack your bag for you? And she started to walk out the door. She come back in, and boy, she slammed that door. I mean, just racked the hinges on it. And I said, oh no. I said, she fixing to hit me, you know. And I looked at her. I said, well, what? She said, there ain't no way I'd leave you. I said, you can't make it without me. She said, no. She said, you'll be happy if I do. She said, good luck with that. She said, you're stuck.
Joey, did you hear Billy Bob Thornton tell his ex-wife? What did he say? We ain't got an ice cube in hell chance of it making it, but I ain't got the. What did he say? I ain't got the strength to tell you no.
That's right. That's exactly right. He said, I know. She said, you think we'll make it this go around? He said, I don't think we got a ice cube's chance in hell. He said, but I ain't got the strength to tell you no.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
He said, especially with you looking at me like you are.
That's right. That's right.
I usually can take about 4 rounds of it before I get another.
Yeah.
That was the first time in many years that we even had a disagreement. You
Yeah,
know,
Dale and I don't fight. We really don't. I mean,
we don't
can you
either.
think of the last time?
No, not really.
I just tell him what to do, and he says yes, ma'am.
That's kind of the way it goes with me.
Boy, hey, the truth is solid. It took 2
There it
hours
is.
and 15 minutes to get to the truth.
That's it.
Nah.
That's exactly right. Oh my goodness. Well, man,
We got it now. He
yeah,
mines, and they got cur dogs that bark on the track.
yep.
Yeah.
Just like mine do.
I don't like a full open dog, though. I will
No,
tell
no,
you,
no.
Dale and I. Let me just set this straight. Dale and I have a little bit of difference on what kind of dog we like. A little bit of difference, which is good because if we like the same thing, we'd fight over the same dog.
Yeah.
I like a semi-open dog. I like Ace is perfect. I hate to keep talking about Ace, but he's perfect. God bless him with that dog. And if I could get a dog half as good as him, like he does, I'll be good. But he's semi-open, and he opens on track when it's business. And when he opens, I know we fixing to see something. Then he'll locate, and he's got a ball mouth. Oh, it sounds pretty. He'll locate, and then he falls chop at the tree.
Yeah,
And he's got his feet up on that tree. Dale likes one that yaps. I call it yaps, but it's open. He likes one that's going to bark all through the trail for a little while, on and on and on and on and on.
It gets a little hotter, a little louder.
We don't have to hear all that horn mouth and all that.
We're gonna get that one pushed for Christmas.
Then it'll get located, and then it'll get treed.
No. See, I want a dog. If he's barking, I want him carrying the mail.
Yep.
I don't want him cold trailing. I want him carrying the mail. If there's anything with him, they better be quiet, trying to get ahead of his ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
They better be drifting him, trying to get there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the way you catch stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and some of these Stevens dogs, they'll open more on a coon than they do on a squirrel. Sometimes they won't even open on a squirrel, and they will on a coon. It depends on the game.
My dogs won't bark on a squirrel, but they full open on a coon. Once they get him up.
Yeah.
Once they get him on the move.
But let's set the record straight though about the original mountain cur too. That breed standard also says in the breed standard on the original mountain cur, it says open to semi-open on the breed standard. Well, yep. These dogs these days aren't necessarily that. No. If you read that book, Dale's a lifetime member. He's on the board of directors. But if you read that book, it says open to semi-open on those original mountain curs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's what they used to be. That's why people don't use them to hog hunt no more. They just can't move a track.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're good for. When the ones I was hunting, when I was hunting them, the OMCBA style dogs. Years ago, 10 plus years ago, we walk hunted a lot of areas, or we'd ride a 4-wheeler and they would, they would run right in front of. It was a hot track, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I call a poaching type dog.
Exactly, and I'll be honest, they didn't even bark on track very little until they were looking at it. If they went to yapping, like Mr. Dale's dogs, if they went to yapping, they's looking at him.
Yeah, they had to meet.
Yeah, they had to meet on him. They never would bark. They wouldn't cold trail or nothing. But I tell you something that they were bad to do. Once it got out about 1,000 yards or so, they'd quit it and come back.
Yeah, looking for a nutting.
Yeah, they just fall off of it and come right back. And man, that's when I started having to change stuff. I said, look, this just is not working.
Yeah,
right.
Now that dog would be somebody's yard dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of cur dogs up until the past 4 or 5 years. That's what most people like. That's what they were hunting. That I knew anyway. That style cur dog. That dog would get a hog up and he'd run it 600 or 800 yards. If it didn't have it stopped within that time, hell, that dog would come back. And I was like, no, our dogs, like, they might go 600 or 800 yards, and that's when they start hunting good. If I don't put them in the hogs, if there's not a lot of hog sign, they're going to get on out there. They're going to free cast a mile plus.
Yeah, well, and you know something I've learned about your podcast too. I don't mean change the subject, but something I've learned about listening to your podcast is, you know, Dale talked about 20 years ago how we used to go to some of these hog hunts. We had hog dogs. We put dogs in bay pens here, you know, and but we started losing. You know, you lose a dog, and we use them for other hunting, and even if you use cut vest and whatever, you're bound to lose a dog with hogs hunting out in the wild. But I did not realize that the hog hunting had come so divided with just bay pen dogs and then your woods dogs. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't realize that it had kind of evolved to two different kinds of sports.
Two totally different things in a sense, now, and that's what we're bringing back.
Yeah.
The hogs pick that, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Evolution on the hogs. When the hogs started running more and running further, running longer,
right. and now we got a different hog dog in the woods.
Yeah,
you had to have a more houndy dog to get out there and, you know, that mile, half a mile.
Yep.
And get them where your cur dogs would range out 300 yards, you know.
That's right. And so they didn't work for the bay pen. So like you said, now it's two different.
Too much hunt.
Yeah, they don't do well in bay pen. And now there's some that they'll do okay, but like what we're doing now, we got that bay coming up in February. And it's all going to be just a woods dog event.
Yeah, but it's a total different set of rules.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. It's a little different deal. You know, we recorded with Rusty last night on that too, Pat.
Yeah, he called me and I went over the rules with him before.
Yeah.
He still thinks I'm going to judge, but I'm not judging. I'm not.
I got news for
you. Where's that going to be at?
In Ringling, Oklahoma, and you'll love it. It's
yes.
You have to send in about 10 videos of you hunting your dog in the woods just to be able to enter it.
To
keep these bay pen. There's a lot of bay pen guys that are honest, but there's some that's not so honest, and they'll just bring them bay pen dogs up them pro dogs to compete against Joe Blow. You know, this is a hunt for, like Miss Kella said, the common man's hunt.
Yep.
Yeah.
They got aggravated. They got aggravated at the last one because one of the guys that was competing, his dog was phenomenal. It was a great dog. That dog was shiny. It looked like it'd been laying on the couch. I told him, I said, I'd like to see a few scars. He said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I said, that dog bays about 3 inches from that hog's head. You can't tell me that he ain't got cut.
Yeah.
He said, oh, yeah, he's got, and the dog did have just a couple of small spots on him. And so I had to let it go, you know, but I was like, that's just, it wasn't enough there to say that that's 100% woods dog. And
when I peel that ear back, I want to see cuts from briars on the inside of them ears, around them eyeballs, around the bridge of that nose. I want to see it red where he can carry the tail.
That's right.
I'm not real worried about a hog cut too much on him because he can get that in the bay pen. So,
exactly.
But like that's what I want to see. I want to see in his joints in the front end, even with his chest, that knee joint right there. I want to see that raw.
Yep.
Some
tell me that he's been in the woods. You know.
You don't want you don't want toenails. Toenails that's an inch long either.
Yeah, it looks like a cat squirrel on his feet. Don't come around.
Yeah, that's right. Well, so your judge, I guess, goes out there in the wild with you.
No, it's gonna be in a bay pen.
Oh, but you're just using your woods dogs.
Yeah. You can only enter a real hog dog.
Okay, so you don't go out into the woods and compete.
No, not on this one.
We have a live across the scales hunt for Uncle Earl's now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had 110 hogs turned in last year.
Yep.
Wow.
Where you have a 5-man team and you got 48 hours
to bring in the meat. Yeah.
And the hog has got to walk across the scales. It ain't no.
Yeah.
It's catch and tie.
Yep.
Yeah. I cannot drive the truck.
Yeah, you can find you a team and get on it because it'll be a bunch of them.
Oh, I bet it'll be a lot this year.
I ain't never done it. I'll have to get in shape to do that. But
they I think you can have a 4-man team with 2 helpers, like a truck driver and somebody to help you load the hog.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. Four-man team with 2 helpers.
I think you'll have to ask Jake.
Can you have a winch on the truck?
You can have whatever the hell you want. You can run a poodle dog for all we care, as long as the hog is called.
Where do you hunt? Like
anywhere in the hell you want to.
Oh, you have to have a place to go?
Anywhere you want to hunt.
As long as you go there to weigh them in.
As long as you don't go in a high fence or something like that. You know, it's got to be free range.
Yeah.
You can hunt your own spots.
Yeah. See, we have those every once in a while with coon, you know, whoever brings in the heaviest coon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's authentic hunting right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so you can't do catch and tie in the pen no more, so we do catch and tie in the woods and bring them.
Yeah.
And you got to untie them, and they got to walk across the scales.
You got to be tough to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the way we do it.
Yeah.
I know. I need to come do some of that.
Yeah, let's go.
I think Jake texted me a while ago. They caught 9 today.
Did they?
Well, they hunting in the marsh down there around Orange.
Yeah.
See, ain't no deer out there, so ain't no deer hunters.
Oh, okay.
So and alligators is going inside because it's cold, so they'll hunt. They hunt all deer season. Hell, you can probably call him, go down there. They hunt about 3 or 4 days a week right now.
Yeah, I was going to say that's their best time to hunt, and like a lot of us are kind of shut down in a way. You know, we've got so many deer hunters. Yeah. We got a few places we can hunt at night, but not like we can when deer season's not in.
Did you see what I put on Facebook the other day? I said, I don't know what all you deer hunters is worried about. My dog ain't running your deer off.
Yeah, he caught him.
They catching them. They catching them, and I'm cutting their throat.
I seen that.
They got mad as hell.
Yeah.
We got deer that chase our dogs. They do. Those deer will run right past us with their head down, trailing our dogs. And I'm like, y'all need to get y'all's deer off my dog.
Yep.
They won't trail mine like that. Next thing you'll hear is,
yeah. Be hanging on.
These some bitches is bad. I just hate to shock them before they're 3 years old. Because I truly believe it takes a little bit of hunt out of them. If you'll just keep feeding them the kind of tracks you want them to have, by 3 years old, it'll clean up on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I just hate the trash breaking.
Yeah, our Stevens, they don't mess with deer. They don't mess with hogs.
That may be why I don't have one.
Now, I ain't going to be struck by lightning, but every once in a while they tree a daggum stupid possum.
Oh, hey, and my dog just soon tree a possum as win the world championship.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I'll get on to her. I just got to get on to her a little bit before I hunt. She won't tree them. But if I don't remind her, hey, look here, don't you be messing with no grinner tonight. God damn it.
Yeah.
Hey, she'll put them. There's some bitches will be in huckleberry vines for days.
Yeah, well, I tell you something that's harder to break a dog off of is a daggum armadillo.
Impossible in the summertime. Impossible to armadillo break a dog in the summertime.
Them armadillos attract those young dogs. I tell you, they can't hardly resist.
I think they smell like a pig.
And that's what we think. And they sound like an elephant moving through the daggum woods. You think something was about to get you by the way they make the racket.
Hey, y'all, my phone's about to come in.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got about 2.5 hours in on this one.
Pat, you can't hang, can you?
No, ma'am. Look.
You can't hang, Pat.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know I don't look it, but I am a little more seasoned than you are.
You're older, ain't you?
Yes, what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm a couple of years older than you are.
How old are you?
I'm a 72 model.
You're 72?
No, I am a 72.
Oh, you're a 72 model.
No, he's 72. That's over 72 years old.
So you're just you're 2 years older than me.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah,
it's a hard 2 years. It's a hard 2 years.
Hey, well, let me ask you this: what kind of gym you got? Because I see you lifting weights. I need me a trainer.
Oh, what kind of gym I got? All I do, Miss Kella, is push my luck real hard.
Do you work your legs as much as you do your upper body, or do you look like you're riding a chicken?
I would show you my legs, but I'd get in trouble.
You gotta work your legs too, Pat. Don't just work your arms. There ain't nothing worse than a man that works his arms and ain't got no legs.
You tell him.
Hey, I can't. I tell you this. Okay, one time I'm gonna tell you this story if you want to know what kind of legs I got.
Okay.
One time I wanted a horse from the Hanging Tree Ranch, and they have an annual cowboy strip off. I would never go to it, right? I would never go to it.
I bet you shaved your legs for that, didn't you?
No, I didn't. But I want.
Oh man, Pat, did you really wax your legs?
No, I didn't do nothing. I just showed up, hit the horse, and had the strip. So I wake up the next day, and the horse is in the living room, and I'm in the living room, and I got this banner thing on me like Miss Rodeo would wear, and it says "sexiest legs" on it.
Well, you must have got drunk to not remember that.
Oh, I remember it.
He just puts it way back in the back there.
Yeah, I can't talk about it right now.
If you're from Zawali, you ain't got much hair on your body anyway. Cause you got
no, ma'am, I don't.
You got a lot of Indian in you.
No, ma'am, I don't hardly have none.
Hey, let me tell you, them tamales will make you slow, so don't eat too many of them.
Hey, I eat them now. I ain't gonna lie.
Them Zawali tamales, they'll make you slow.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know how. If I were to wear a pair of Red Wing work boots, I had to split them because it won't come over my calf.
Dang.
Yeah.
You got a leg routine going in, don't you?
Yeah, I walked 13 miles last night hunting.
Yeah, that's
I still hunt on my feet a lot. I leave from the house. 7 or 8 miles is a short trip for me.
Yeah.
Usually when somebody comes hunting with me, they'll never come back.
Dang. You probably move through the woods like a deer, don't you?
I used to. I'm a little old now, but yeah. I got 68 whitetail deer mounted.
Wow.
But, yeah. So when somebody starts giving me a fit about my dogs being around their deer, whatever, I tell you what, I'll leave your deer alone if you leave my dog alone.
Yeah.
And I usually get the combination to the gate then because they don't want me to start messing with them goats.
Yeah, that's right.
You can kill. I don't know what people get excited for. You can kill one with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dumb as hell. You just push the corn out and he comes running in.
But I tell y'all what, if y'all ever do a podcast and you think you're going to get somebody that don't have much to say, y'all just put me in on it. And we'll,
you bet.
Oh, there's no doubt.
We'll come up with something, or I'll ask some questions for sure. We'll get something going.
No, it's been great because normally, like when me and Pat's on here, like me and Pat do all the talking, and our guests most of the time they don't. A lot of times I guess you kind of get a little stage fright, They'll talk a little bit, and then it'll get a little. You can't never let it get quiet. You know what I mean? It's a podcast.
They gonna think you got a ferret on Red Bull this time. Y'all didn't have to get a word in edgewise, did you?
I didn't have to. No, you said it.
You said it
perfectly too.
And I got pages of stuff we didn't even talk about.
That's right. Well, I tell you what we'll do. I got your number. I'll give it to my son Nate, and Nate will get it set up. And you and Pat, I'll do it. We'll do another one.
Yeah, and y'all, and like I said, if y'all got somebody there that that you're gonna interview, you're not sure what's going on, I don't mind sitting in on it.
Okay. Yeah, because it's a good thing to have that for real. I've learned that in this, and like somebody like yourself with all the amenities that come with you, and all the experience, it's really a good tool to have in the toolbox. Now, I'm glad Pat put this together. Uncle Pat knows what he's doing.
Hey, look, Pat's on my Facebook. It ain't telling Pat it ain't never a dull day.
I call her Aunt Kella.
Matter of fact, I had the daggum gingerbread man wreck in my office today. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He came in and wrecked the principal's office. I was down on the floor with my legs up in there, kicking like a dead roach.
So So like I know everything Miss Kella said. I know it,
Yep.
but I can't articulate it like she does.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't get it out there like that. I get frustrated and I start getting emotional when I talk about it and I get pissed off.
Then you cuss somebody out.
Oh, I'm not above it.
I know. I've heard that would happen.
Well, Pat, you're tough as a $2 steak is all I can say.
Right.
You tell him, Miss Keller. You tell him, Aunt Keller, to leave Uncle Pat alone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll work. Well, we'll set it up again, and we'll do. If you want to get some topics or something to talk about, like the history on some of these dogs, like if you want to dig back into it, we'll do it. We'll do it again. We'd love to.
If y'all just got some heartache and some marital problems, I'll counsel you and coach you on that too.
We already do that on this podcast, Miss Keller. It's
just call me up sometimes and maybe down in the dumps about something, or you need a woman spin on it.
That's right.
Sure pretty.
That's right. Now,
so when will this come out? In a couple of weeks?
When
Lord, I'd hate to have to organize this thing. We jumped around all over the place.
He said probably around next Thursday, I think he said.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Who's that?
Who
else was listening?
My son, Nate. He's on the other side over there.
Nate. He's shaking his head, ain't he?
Yeah, actually he is.
You don't know how he's going to organize this. It's all over the place. He's going to have to cut and chop and paste and everything else.
Hey, it'll go just like this.
No, man.
He'll leave it just like this.
Did I cuss? Did I say any cuss words on that?
Not near enough.
You'll know when it comes out.
Oh, Lord. That's right.
And hey, listen, that's when all our guests, they're like, hey, are y'all going to cut some of that out? I was like, nope. They're like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this is real.
People that know me will not be surprised.
And that's what I have found out. Our best ratings have come from stuff just like this, where it's just people sitting around talking, whether it's about dogs or relationships or politics or religion or anything like that. And that's something else. We're not scared to talk about politics. We're not scared to talk about God. I love God. I love Jesus.
Yeah.
I love religion. And I'm not ashamed of it. And nobody should be, And
we can't go hating on each other.
No, that's right. And that's the thing about it. But now if somebody is a guest and they don't want to talk about it, well, that's fine too. They reserve that right just as well. And we try to be real with everybody. So
that's right. Well, if we want to have an Ask Miss Kella show one day, we can do that too.
That's what we need to do. We'll have Uncle Pat and Aunt Kella. Now, there we go. Yeah. And then we're gonna have Mr. Dale back here and Nate over there, both of them shaking their heads saying, "Oh Lord."
Yeah. Well, that's right. And we'll solve the world's problems.
We'll do what we can do, won't we?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, look, I love y'all. I got to get out here.
All right, Pat. That'll work, buddy. We'll see you.
Okay, bye, y'all.
All right. Bye-bye.
See y'all.
Let me see if I can do this. Okay, got it.
You got both of them?
I think so, yeah. All right, everybody. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I literally laughed. I'm still laughing. Like it's funny. I'm gonna have to get next time we do this. I'll have to get Luke, bring guitar, and we'll sit down and I'll sing your song this time. I won't sandbag it. I kind of got on the spot there and I just got tickled. I was like, I can't do this right now. It's hilarious. Pat is, of course, everybody knows Uncle Pat. Everybody loves Uncle Pat. And that was a guest that he found and wanted to bring on. And we're thankful to have him. Mm-hmm. And we really appreciate Pat. 100%. He brings a different vibe to the show. He's got a different point of view a lot of times. The way he says things is different than some people say things, but there's a meaning behind all of it. And all of us are different in our own ways, and I don't want him any other way. I want him just like that. And it was a pleasure to have Miss Kella and Mr. Dale on. We got to talk about the mountain curse stuff and some of the Stevens curves. And then we talked about everything else, of course, just a little recap, probably going to do something maybe along the lines of get some topics that I would like to, get them to go over, maybe dig into more of the history of it and turn her loose with that. So if y'all have any questions, y'all holler at me or Nate or Uncle Pat or Miss Kella and let us know what y'all want to talk about, and we'll do it. Because that's what we do, homies. And I also want to say I appreciate everybody sending all the birthday wishes through social media and stuff. This won't be on my birthday when this comes out, but I do want to say I appreciate all that. Thank y'all. And until the next time, we love y'all. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Merry Chanukah, and Kwanzaa. Y'all have a good one and eat your vegetables.
That's right. Thank y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Stay tuned for our new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. For questions, advertising, or just to chat, email DixieDoggers01@gmail.com.